Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo. This is a MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and lots of events online. This is our Awakening panel. We have 9 practitioners on the panel today. We'll be answering questions from the audience after we describe a bit about who we are and what we do and what the theme means to us and how we often work with people with questions about this theme of making possibilities into reality. And then we'll be here for 2.5 hours answering questions. If you'd like to ask a question, we ask that you pay ahead. The information is in chat. You can pay by PayPal or Venmo. I can run things on my phone on Square too. And then we'll get you in line so that you can ask a question of the panel. All right, well, let's see. So I think we said, so Susie, Henry, and then Susan. Go ahead and share about who you are. And I'm gonna, I'll probably bring us up to spotlight too.
Okay. Well, I'm Susie Parker Goins of Blue Lightning Healing and Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I'm a channel, so I open you up to connecting with your guide so you can establish a relationship with them so that you can work with them whenever you want. And also, I work to empower you by giving you tools and techniques that you can use on your own so that you can identify the blockages and clear them out. And that'll help you along your path. Now, I was just messaging with Henry and I was telling them, oh, it's a manifestation panel. I thought it was opening to the possibilities. And they were lovely and said, sure, why can't it be both as opposed to opening and making these possibilities a reality? And frequently I will use imagery in a session with someone who wants to see what might happen. I believe time is all one great big ball of, Doctor Who reference, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly and all that, and that we're focusing on a single point right now in this time, but that you have the opportunity to look ahead in a variety of timelines and see what your future self is, depending on what course you take, or your ideal self. And these are tools that I'm happy to share with everyone because I don't see anything but, no, let me rephrase that. I see that we are working to achieve our ideal, our best selves. That I think is our sole purpose, is to live from a place of love and then to have that manifest in our day-to-day life, doing those things that make us better and makes everything better just for us being here, not just in these environments. This really has helped me, I must say, in helping me make a lot of things possible, a reality. And so to be able to share that energy, to share that love with everyone, this is what fills my heart with so much joy. So I am looking forward to hearing from the practitioners too and find out their input on things. And also I want to hear your questions. So let's all enjoy it. And thank you very much.
I'm going to say these panels are a great opportunity for everyone to practice opening to their intuition, and we get the benefit as practitioners of being on the panel of getting to even stretch and expand more ourselves too. All right, Henry.
Yeah, so I thank you for mentioning that, Susie. That's right. I mean, it's both. It's opening up to possibility, and it's also identifying what these possibilities are, and then how to move from seeing it as a possibility to making it a reality. And this is particularly good for life coaching in terms of what are the steps, and it's particularly good for spiritual directing, which is what I also do, which is about what are the steps that are aligned with my true light. And I am also a tarot reader, and so I use the tarot to help us get past the ego, get past the already always thinking. And this is really what possibility is about. Possibility is beyond what you already always know. Like, I know this is possible, but I know that's not possible. Like all of us, I'm sure we agree, when we think abstractly, we know everything's is possible. Not even the sky is the limit. But when it comes down to our own lives and the moment that we find ourselves in our lives, that's not really how we think. We think more in terms of all the ways in which we're stopped, all the things that somehow there are limits, like time limits, money limits, focus limits, even truly knowing what our purpose is, which is just about not giving ourselves permission. Because here's how it always is. Somebody says, I wanted to be a writer, but then my mom told me that I should be a teacher to make money. And so now I'm trying to see, where should I put my focus? Should I teach this, or should I teach that? Or should I go back to school? the person already has said what their purpose is, writer. So when we now talk about all these other possibilities that show up, we're not talking about the one that's actually the one. And so this is where working with someone is so powerful, because that person can see immediately what's really going on. Now, sometimes somebody does not know their purpose because it's been so covered, or because this is their journey. And that is also where we can work together. Okay, let's do this journey. Where are we going? And then I can guide, and not somewhere where you don't mean to go. That can never happen. When you listen, you always know when people are speaking their truth. So I'm looking forward to, like we all say, to get expanded, and to I love hearing questions, and I'm always like, ooh, I want to answer, and I'm like, well, don't be so greedy, let somebody else talk. And so it's just a wonderful experience, and I just welcome everyone, and I'm just so excited that you're all here. I'm looking here, 28 people, like, yay. So I will, here we go. I'm stopping now. I'm just very happy to be here and to be with you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Henry. Great exuberance. All right, Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Watkins. Welcome. I'm the owner and founder of Inspired Life Essential Wellness. And through gentle guided movements and meditation, help you connect back to yourself, to that core of who you are, who you want to be, how you want to show up in this world for yourself and for others. Connecting to those possibilities. What's possible for your life? What do you want for your life? And then also utilizing Reiki and sound healing to clear away any of those blocks, those stuck, stagnant, whether they were things that you incorporated yourself, or maybe, as Henry mentioned, something that was said to you, even offhandedly, intentionally, unintentionally, that get in your way to achieving what's possible and what you hold in your heart for yourself. So I look forward to talking with everyone and answering questions. I love sharing the time and space with these awesome panel people. I always learn as well. So have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much. Oh, I almost forget this part too. You can reach me at via email at inspiredlife.service@gmail.com, and then also on Facebook and Instagram at inspiredlife.essentialwellness. So thanks again, everyone.
Great. Thanks so much, Susan. All right, let's see. I'm trying to think. Did we have Ari go next, and then Audrey, then Christine, and then Eva, I think? All right, Ari.
I think that was it. My name is Ari. I'm the founder of Awkwardly Zen, which is an online free community where you can be awkwardly yourself while you figure all of this out. The spiritual path is super vast and sometimes a little bumpy. So we try to support one another on that path. We do a bunch of fun events, and through that, I've really been able to explore that on my own path. And I think that that's a big thing to remember, is that all of these amazing people who are going to talk to you tonight, they all started somewhere, and they all are headed in a direction, and all of us have goals and these amazing things. And as we broaden our horizons, as we get to look at that, sometimes we learn how to get out of our own way. And that's what I have spent the last couple of years doing. So by creating Awkwardly Zen, in the last year, we've gone from just getting started on Meetup to having over 2,300 people and in 10 locations. And that has been a huge part of my journey of what do I want in my life? What brings me the most joy? And how do I go about getting it? And able to do that with my reality world most of the time. And so really tonight, what I'm here to hopefully share with all of you is just some insight that I've gotten through the amazing people who I've gotten to interact with over the last few years, and just maybe be a voice of somebody who's newer on the path and who is right where you are, or right where you were, or we'll meet somewhere in the middle. So I'm super excited to hang out with all of these amazing people. You can find us at awkwardlyzen.com, all of our events. You can find me. I also do intuitive tarot readings, and it's a super fun way to really connect with your guides and decide, with a little support from the cards, what's headed in your direction, and also maybe how to tweak it a little bit.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Ari. All right, Audrey.
Hello there. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for coming. My specialties are astrology, numerology, tarot, destiny cards, and just communicating with the other realm. The other realm is like our higher selves or the spirit guides or, whoever that's out there. In today's topic, I feel that astrology, numerology, or destiny cards are the perfect tools to gauge ourselves. Like what is the cycle that we're in? Are we up, down? Are we coming to the collaboration with others, or are we by ourselves? Are we to stress our own lessons in life? There are just so many things that we can explore and to make possibilities into reality. I also think that I can contribute to our compatibilities with others, our compatibilities with a partner or with a job or, with any kind of a worldly energy. So again, there are so many different things that we can explore into making your life better, into the direction that you want it to go. So anyway, I'm just so happy that you're all here. I can be found at audreyleemetaphysics.com. Thank you.
Thanks, Audrey. All right, Christine.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kirstin Bernard.
Oh, Christine.
Certified.
Oh, Christine, start over.
Yes.
The internet did a little glitch.
Okay. So hi, I'm Kirstin Bernard, a certified EFT master practitioner, coach, and a healer. So, and I created a technique called Snap, Set, Go. So do you ever have challenges releasing your emotions, your thoughts, or your feelings? And this is what this technique helps you do with simple breathing and tapping to release these emotions. I love working with children so that they can find their inner strength. And of course, adults also have that inner child inside of them that has been put away maybe, and that they need to reconnect and heal on that level. As a healer, I do many different modalities, and I'm hearing all these beautiful people, and they also do many of them. So I would like to offer you a 30-minute discovery session for only $27 when you go to my website at onlineefttransformation.com. And when you subscribe, you get a free gift, which I'll give you a hint to help discover your sensitivities. And you can also email me at info@snapsetgo.art. Sorry about that, brand new email. And I have, if you want to go straight to the SnapSetGo, which will be launching next week, it's snapsetgo.art. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help you out.
Thanks so much, Christine. All right, and then Eva.
Yes, wonderful. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. And my name is Eva Venari. I'm founder of the Elevate Institute, hailing from Los Angeles, California. And I've been in this business for 11 years willingly. And just as others have said, this is quite the bumpy ride when you start out realizing that you have some spiritual gifts. And then you say, what do I do with them? And for me, I decided that I needed to help myself overcome a lot of chronic illnesses. So I'm a nutritional counselor, officially, but some call me shaman. And that's what happens when you rebuild your body and create a foundation, giving it what it needs exactly. That's where everything starts when a person works with me, mostly. And we rebuild the body and we notice that energies can run better, metaphysical energies, spiritual energies. And that's how my awakening really blossomed. So detoxing the body is a natural process. And I don't do that with any fads, with any drugs, or with any trends. Like, I'm never going to say, hey, there's this great supplement from the Amazon jungle. You could take it and cure all, because that's not how the body works. So in that journey of getting the body to heal on its own, I noticed that people would go from having symptoms to talk about to talking about other things like relationships and mostly relationships and problems at work and problems with children. And so while I'm not a relationship coach, I noticed that in this process, it's really a lot to do with Akashic records, a lot to do with core wounds, karmic situations, things like life lessons where you're thinking, where did my guides go? This is where I use the tarot. This is where I tap into the Akashic records, and it's not for vanity. So anytime you need to hear a message that somehow either you're missing, it's not getting into your spirit guidance, or it's simply out of your ability to see it, this is where my specialty is. And so I'm going to be offering a way to contact me for tarot card readings, and I'll put that in the chat to the right, and my website where you can find me and a bunch of information, including my two podcasts, is theelevateinstitute.com. And I'm so happy to be here tonight. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Eva, I put some of your information in the chat, so let me know if that's correct, if I need to change anything, and then let me know if you have an event special. So practitioners, any of you, if I don't have your event special, please let me know what it is, and I'll add that to what I put in the chat. And Wyatt, I know you just got here. We're doing the 2 to 3 minute introductions and also talking about the theme, making possibilities into reality. Are you all set? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll just hop right in here. So, hi everyone. My name is Wyatt Larson. I'm a shamanism practitioner with my own company, The Wildwood Hollow. I've been a shamanism practitioner for a little bit over 3 years now. Yeah, so thewildwoodhollow.com, you can go ahead and find me. Tonight I'm offering, I think it's 15% off of my sessions and products, and I'll put all the codes or give the codes to Laureli, so you guys can all get them. But making possibility into reality. If it looks like I'm a little distracted right now, it's for various reasons. One, I just got home from work. And two, for the main reason that what we are talking about tonight is kind of going on in my own life right now. With everything going on, everything that you experience in this ultimate weave that is our reality, you can really tug at the strings of it to create the tapestry how you want it, to create this beautiful imagery with who you surround yourself with, the different threads of life that you create. And so by painting and creating and pulling the threads of this tapestry, you're really able to create the life that you want. In other words, I guess it's kind of like manifestation, you know, bringing in what really resonates with you and continuing your path forward with courage. You know, we all have fear, but go forward in courage, and being able to really stick to it and continue through no matter what it is. Now, the universe, when it sees this, is going to really align and help those threads along as much as it can. So it's a very interesting topic, and so much of it we can really like get into through questions and storytelling and tarot cards and all this fun stuff. It is just life and seeing into the wonderful possibilities that is reality. So yeah, anyway, again, my name is Wyatt Larson. I'm super excited to be here, and thanks for letting me hop in on here a little bit after. So whoever's next.
Great, great. And let's see, I'm doing admin on the background and I get myself all about the topic. So I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. And making possibilities into reality. Well, I think even the phrase, right? So we have to be imagining some sort of possibility that's not here in reality in our experience at the moment. And for me, one of the most important things is a willingness and openness. A willingness implies, embeds, kind of integrates, like I'm worthy of the thing. Sometimes there's steps to take with the I'm worthy of the thing, but so a willingness for this thing, that's so important. And then having some sense of what it is or direction, and willingness and actually taking steps. And steps may be physical, they may be physical actions on this plane. There may be other types of steps, other energetic steps. And another important aspect of this to me is play. So part of the willingness is an openness that maybe something better, maybe so differently than what I imagined. So for me, two people looking at creating something together, they might both have ideas, and are they willing to play with and discover what's possible with both of them wanting, and maybe they discover something over here that's not what they both had imagined. Yeah, and the willingness is knowing we're worthy, to me, is also a connection to our goodness. Like knowing our goodness is part of that worthiness. And I do believe too that maybe the things that are best to come into reality, or the things maybe that like all of the energy might support, is something that is good for us and good for the whole at the same time. And so for me, everything is feedback. Something, well, so part of the being open and playing is if I have that idea and I'm taking steps, being with the feedback of what comes in to play and loosen and shift, maybe how or when or what, and also noticing that a door is opening over here, right? And be really willing to shift and take steps in new directions. It's all kinds of different things. In your eyes, I read so many different things about your soul. Like eyes are a window to the soul. So I might get some sense of your purpose from your eyes. I mean, generally I will. It suggests a direction, and then together we'd actually tune and get a better sense of what that is. You may know, I may see things in your eyes that really confirm that for you and help you feel more confident. May not make any difference for you what I see in your eyes. It might bring up some questions for you of ways you might want to refine, ways you might want to question, is this really my purpose, or is this a purpose that someone else gave me that's not actually mine? Like all kinds of different things can come from the dialogue and the play of us together. And depending on what the possibility is that you're interested in having show up in your reality, your experience, there might be insight I have about your eyes or other people's eyes that might be useful for that as well. Those are all different kinds of things I might do with you tonight. And maybe the body psychology in particular, I'm noticing subtle aspects of your energy, your emotions, your body movements that give information about whether your whole being is aligned with what you say. It helps inform how open and willing you are, if your willingness is integrated, if you're playful. So there might be feedback about those kinds of things as well. That's what occurs to me right now to say about this. And I'm sure, like as all of us in the play, there'll be more and more. Oh, well, let's see. So there are 9 of us on the panel tonight. And what this means, I think, is that Zoom may only let me have 9 of us in the spotlight at a time. So I will probably be taking me, or one of us occasionally will be out, and whoever asks a question will be in. So just know, everyone, that's going to be going on. And my aim is that I'll kind of mix that all up. Someone had to leave. They so appreciate what we're doing, and just happy people could come in and get a sense of what's going on. All right, I'm going to get Wyatt's information into all of my info again, and I'll paste the practitioners' info in the chat again. And practitioners, yeah, if there's anything to that I need to add, let me know. Remember, all these practitioners are available to answer questions in private sessions too. And let's see, we've got one person in line for the panel. And let me do just a couple things for setup before we start. So for the next 2 hours, we'll be answering your questions. It's free to be here to listen and learn, and it's a small price to ask a question. It's 16 to 24 sliding scale and $10 for BIPOC. And if you ask a question, there are 9 of us hearing it in all kinds of different ways, and all kinds of different insight and ideas to play with might show up. And we might go deeper than you intend us to go in this public format that's being recorded, that's going to be posted online. I want to be so clear that we honor you. Or we might start talking about this other thing that we think is connected and relevant, and you might not want us talking about that here. So if there's any guidance like that you want to give us beforehand, please give it to us. And if we're doing anything that doesn't feel good, please interrupt us, call out, wave your hands, get our attention in whatever format works, so that we shift and change and honor you in our answers. We believe that everyone's intuitive, and particularly if you're actively aiming to expand and open your intuition, it's a great opportunity to do that by seeing what comes through you and what the panelists say. And you may have something come through you that's equally valid as anything else that anyone shares, and we may not say it. It's a great opportunity to, I should say, just have something you can write with probably as we go along, because in my experience, when things come through, like if I don't write them down and do something to ground them quickly, like whoosh, they're off. So I encourage you to just write down whatever's here and see what comes through you and what happens. Also, we ask that as things might come through you, that you allow the attention to stay up on the panel tonight. What that means is that if something comes through you for someone else, that asked the question. Please hold on to that until we're done answering their question. And then if you want, you can chat them privately and ask them if they'd like to hear what came through you for them. And please honor whatever they share. Trust that they may simply be full, particularly there are 9 of us tonight. They may be full after hearing maybe from all 9 of us. And so if they say no, trust it's not about you, just not right now. It's not what the universe wants you to do right now, is to share with them. And it may have come through you for some completely other reason, and I encourage you to be open to that and open to learn from all that's asked and all that's answered tonight. We're all here together doing this in community. That's what we is all about, each of us on our own journeys and all of us doing this together. All right, I'm going to go check PayPal again to see if we have anyone else that has gotten in line, and we're going to get started with Kimberly. And I'll go ahead and just move myself off. Although we could move Wyatt off. Wyatt's not there. I'll move me off, and I'm sure Wyatt will come right back. Just like that. All right, Kimberly, are you ready to go? And I just need your video on to move you up into the spotlight. Where are you?
I'm working. Oh, can you see me? Is that enough light? Oh, wait a minute, maybe not.
It's better if the light is in front of you. Yeah. Great.
Is that working better?
Yeah, that's great. All right.
Okay. I don't know if it's too bright or not. Okay. So I had a question. I know that I'm going through transition for myself, to take care of myself and self-love, but I had kind of like a health question and then whatever they wanted to add. Recently, I was diagnosed with a common health issue that a lot of Americans have. And at first they gave me medicine and I had some side effects to it, and I wasn't really crazy about it. And I switched the medicine and I was still having side effects. So before that, I was trying to do it by diet holistically. And now I've gone back to going to do diet and try to find a help, like a supplement. I just want to know if I feel like I'm on track, but I just wanted some type of confirmation if anybody's getting anything about my health or anything else they'd like to add about that.
And you said that you're going through transitions in the beginning. Is there any other
transition, like transition about, self-love and self-worth and taking care of myself instead of taking care of others with boundaries and that kind of thing, I guess.
Great to have your words to that context. All right, yes, and practitioners, this is perfect. Raise your hand in chat, or raise your hand in Zoom so I know that you're ready to answer. And it looks like Eva is ready. Go ahead, Eva.
Thanks. Yeah, so this is right up my alley, the physical body and this information. And thank you for asking, because you're right, it is prolific to have chronic conditions, things that doctors will want to give you prescriptions for. And if that's not something that you wish to do, it really is about taking care of your physical parts. And that's the eating right. It's the getting the good sleep. It's about looking at lifestyle. It's about looking at what your beliefs are and how you feel about them. It's a big picture. It's really big. So I'm not going to use intuition at all to give you any advice here. But what I would suggest is getting very specific. So if you want to stop that supplement roulette, I don't know if this is working. My best friend says use this. Dr. Oz says use that. If you want to know for absolute certain, it's really good to get some good testing. And there are big differences between all the different kinds of tests. You've probably seen them if you've done any research. There's hair analysis, and that's the service that I offer. But there's blood testing, and there's other excretions that you can test and poke through. So there's a bunch of different places to start, but find something that agrees with your value system. And because you're right, when it comes to taking any sort of medicine, it's not holistic. Right. Yeah. And it builds up in your body. It builds up in the liver, builds up in the kidneys. I see it all the time, and it causes a great deal of stress, and it stops you from your day. I'm going to share just real briefly that the reason I started my business publicly was because my ex-husband was taking 17 different prescribed medications and died of a heart attack in the hospital at the age of 45. Unnecessary. So my work here is to educate and help people navigate all of this alternative medicine. So I would love to chat with you and catch up with you about the specifics. I don't want to take up time here, and I'll let others chime in on the intuitive side as well, unless you have any more questions for me.
No. Do you want to know what? I could just tell you what it is. They diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes.
That's
So I'm trying to control it by diet. A friend told me about a supplement he's going to use. I haven't tried it yet, so I wanted to see how it fared for him because he never even took the medication because he heard so much stuff about the medication, and I had side effects from it. And I said, I can't do this anymore. It wasn't working for me. So
each
before
person.
I switched over to another one, I wanted to still do it by diet and
Yeah, a diet alone, in my humble experience of 11 years of working with people, is never enough because of the way that we process our foods today. It's no longer a question of if we should supplement, it's with what and how much and what kind, especially when you have an imbalance like type 2 diabetes. It is completely reversible. It's just a matter of how do you want to go about doing it. And
Right.
yeah, getting specific is good. And so wait to see if it works on your friend. You're not living in his body. That's my hard news. So what works
That's true too. Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
But
So what,
sometimes it helps to know if somebody might have something a little, even though it's not you, you're not doing the same thing yet. So I still like to get information. That's all.
yep, I hear you. Okay.
You're muted, Laureli.
Sorry, thought I unmuted. Okay, so Susie and then Ari and then Christine, let's work on getting you to raise your hand in Zoom. I'll show you how to do that.
That was so proud of me. So, hey, Kimberly, I'm
Hi,
type
Susie.
2 diabetic also. And so from my personal experience, I have found that it takes more, for me, results are not immediate. And that is the most frustrating thing for me because I want it
Right.
to work and I want it to work right now. I have used all sorts of supplements and some don't help me, others do. And what I have found is a combination of diet and exercise. It has also taught me on an intuitive level, what I have learned is, it's related to the pancreas. And the pancreas is where you find that sweetness in life. So Louise Hay has got all kinds of affirmations for that. I still get
Okay.
wrapped around the axle about affirmations because it takes me so bloody long to get one that's just perfect for me, and then it's just like forget it. So find those things that make you happy. Also, your path to self-love is going to help. It's going to help you tremendously, I feel. Um, and the more strength and the more, there's a better word, the more you are empowered by your own self-love, the more motivated you will be to take those other measures. This is not a quick fix.
Right.
I spent years just like, oh look, M&Ms, that must go into my head. So I understand that my pancreas is totally pooped out. So it's going to take a combination of things, and you are on the right path, working at it, approaching it from all sorts of level, all sorts of angles. I would also like to add the caveat that just because something works for somebody else doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Believe me, I read the articles and I go, oh, I must need that. And just like those, the groups of villagers in any cartoon, they go, and then there's all kinds of mess. And then it's like, no,
Yeah.
never mind.
I mean,
And
with
then
the
you go,
medication, I had them switch it to an extended release, and I still had the same side effects. And I said, I can't be like this every day.
good.
So I decided I was going to put it on pause for a little bit before I asked for another one because I needed to give my body a break from all the side effects that I had been on for several weeks.
Good.
So I said, this is not happening.
You are
I'm just
listening
going
to
to do it.
you are listening to your body and advocating for
Right.
yourself. That is optimal. That is crucial, to advocate for yourself and to work with whoever you're working with. I had something else and it went out of my head, but listening to your body. Oh, if you've ever tried applied kinesiology, that can give you that muscle testing, that can give you an idea. I tried to do it where I use my fingers to check stuff and then it doesn't work for me, but I wobble back and forth. I put my hands on my solar plexus and I ask a question that I know is yes. So that will tell me what yes is when I lean forward. And then you get the no the other way. It's kind of like it is using your body as a pendulum. but it's easier to
Okay.
do that instead of whipping out a pendulum in the frozen food section at Trader
I
Joe's.
never, I've never tried that before, so that's new to me.
Oh, okay. I don't have any good resources on hand. I can look something up for you, but
Okay.
applied kinesiology. Oh, it looks like
Okay.
Christine has got, I know Christine can use EFT on that, so I'll be eager to hear her answer. But listening to your body and taking that path of self-love will send you quite a far away, quite along your path. And yeah, diet and some exercise, it's going to help you a lot. But
Okay.
yeah, good luck.
And
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
we'll get back and add resources for that if it doesn't come out in someone else's share. All right, let's see. We've got Ari, Christine, and then Henry.
All right. Well, let me just back up everything Susie just said, which is great, but I'm going to back it up with my cards that I was pulling while that happened. So as Susie started talking, I
Awesome.
wanted to almost hold up the cards with them. Your intuition, Kimberly, like, you have intuition, right? You're aware of
Yes.
that.
I've been,
So
yeah.
like your intuition about this self-love side of things is dead on. Susie called it too, and I bet I'm not the only one who's going to say that. But the first card I pulled for you was the Hermit. And basically, your guides are kind of calling you out that you're not meditating and taking care of yourself in that way quite as much as you could be. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I haven't been meditating a lot lately.
Yeah. So
They're calling me out on it.
They are. They're like, let me take this really public forum and call
I
you out.
was for a while, and then I had got sick, so it kind of went to like, now I got to get back to that. Yes.
In Awkwardly Zen, when we agree with someone, we shake our hand. So let me just shake my hand with you for everybody else,
Okay.
because we all go through those phases, right? But they're telling
Right.
you like that self-love journey is going to be a lot easier if you spend some time in meditation and spend some time inside. And then also to
Okay.
remember, just like Susie said, that it's a journey. Okay. So this
Right.
is the Six of Swords, and it's a journey. You can't expect it to happen overnight. You know that, but you're going to have to remind yourself. And I'm going to go back to the, I think Eva said it, like celebrate yourself for wanting to change your life, because I think that's the other thing. And then the other thing on this card you can see is those crows are they're helping move that boat. You're not alone.
Okay.
So you do have a team of people, both spiritually and within your medical field, that are trying to help you. So just find those ones that you trust and let them guide you with that too, because you're not alone on it, even though sometimes I think you feel like you are. Is that fair?
Well, I have a lot of friends that were helping me that knew a lot about it in the beginning. So automatically when I got my numbers, one of my friends told me right away, like, hey, you need to get on this. And I did. So,
good.
But you know, the doctors are like, you need to try this medicine. And then it didn't work very well.
Be careful of the noise for sure. Like there's a lot of people with a lot of different advice. Like I can hear the like white noise in your head almost. So when that happens, go back to that Hermit, meditate for a minute and kind of just your intuition's really strong. Like I can feel it through here. So like check in with your instinct on that. And then going back to that celebrate, the last card I pulled for you, it's all about celebrating. It's all about when you have these small wins, really feeling good about that, because we spend so much time waiting for like the end result. But the only way to get to that end result is to celebrate all of the little wins along the way. And we're not good at that as humans. So when you find yourself getting down on yourself, which I can also feel kind of happens probably more than you want it to, stop and go, what did I do awesome today? And even if it's, I got out of bed, like, woohoo, you got out of bed, like do a little dance, do a little shake, and surround yourself with people who are going to celebrate with you and not have a lot of judgment for you, because I feel like that joy is going to help you on that worthiness path, and that worthiness is going to help bring you out of this illness.
Right. As the saying goes, your vibe attracts your tribe.
I mean, to me, like the fact that you trusted yourself to talk to the doctors. On my opposite side, I work a lot in hospitals, and on my make my money side, right? So for you in the medical field, for you to be strong enough in yourself to say no or help me understand is really powerful, and you are worthy of that. They forget we're humans, just like our guides forget we're humans, doctors forget we're humans, and having them explain to us what's going on and saying, no, that doesn't feel right to me, like, good for you. I'm not a doctor, and please, by all means, follow your medical care. But you can feel the intuition coming through on you. So you know it, and just make
Mhm.
sure that you are checking in with yourself and start meditating, because they're
Okay.
going to get pushier if you don't.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ari. All right, we've got Christine and then Henry and then Wyatt.
So hi, Kimberly. And
Hi.
I want to say that we are all unique. And for having been really, really sick, I got the tornado because I wasn't listening. So I am glad to see that you are listening before you get the total tornado. So that's really cool. And are you a highly sensitive person?
In what form are you saying? Like, on what?
Like, are you able to feel other people's energies physically or emotionally?
Yeah, sometimes I can pick up on somebody's vibe and how they may come off to me or how they may be for that day, or yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. So somebody earlier talked about putting the hand on the solar plexus, which is above the belly button and between the ribs. And that disconnects everybody. And you ask, is it mine? Because if you are carrying everybody else's energy, you will be weighed down. So when you want to choose for you, what's best for you, you're getting lots of opinions. And I agree with everything that everybody has said so far. Having been the doctor route, and it didn't work for me, but I really had to stand in my power, find my inner power to be able to say, okay, this is really not working. I need to find other solutions that work for me.
Right.
So my next question for you is, can you easily identify, release emotions and feelings?
You mean, can I communicate to others about it? Or just
no, are you able, when something makes you angry, do you stay angry all day or for a week or for a month, or are you able?
Oh, no, not that long. No, I'll let it out at some point. You'll know. You know it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good about verbally. I mean, I might like think about it, process it. You know, like I might be mad at a minute, but then I won't let it go too long, depending on what it is. So I'll let it out.
Okay.
It's not my nature to keep a lot. It's not my nature to keep things in, even if it's like to vent to a friend or something. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I just got to get it out. Yeah.
And do a lot of people call you to get it out, talking to you?
Oh, for me? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I get a lot.
And what do you do? What do you do with their energy?
I never really thought about it. I just I try to re-divert it, or try to if they're saying something to me, like how I might handle something, it's kind of like I try not to take it in. You know what I mean? Because I've learned, because you can't take all that energy in. Because it's not good for you to do that. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can put your hand on your solar plexus. You can light an energetic candle between you and the person. Okay. There's many, many tricks so that you're not picking up their energy, because that also makes us sick. I also got that it was important for you to connect at a deeper level with your soul. And then when I saw Ari pick some cards, I said, oh, I forgot to look at my cards. And I thought it was really cool that I picked the card that says deep spiritual healing. Okay.
Right. Yeah,
and the blue
definitely.
color.
I'm going through that. Yeah, you're right on about that.
So I would highly recommend wrapping yourself in blue, or having a bath and imagining the water is blue, and like infusing yourself with that blue color. And yeah, so I will let others speak as well, because I want to leave space.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you for that.
Thanks so much, Christine. All right, Henry, then Wyatt.
Hi, Kimberly. This is great.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm wonderful. How about you?
I'm good.
I'm pretty happy to be here. So I'm looking down because you're down here, and so I should do this, but then I can't see your face.
Can you see? I don't know.
Just
I got enough light.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. So a couple of things. First of all, just like Susie, I have type 2 diabetes and more predisposed toward it because my mom had type 1, which there's a core connection, even though they're different diseases. So I'm not a doctor and I can't give you medical advice, but I can tell you
Right.
my experience, right? So I have a naturopath. I don't use an allopath because I want something more holistic. And so the first thing we did, and so I'm just sharing that with you because this could be useful to you. And I just keep getting the guidance to actually say this. So what we did a test to identify if the issue was that my pancreas wasn't making enough insulin, or if the issue was that my cells weren't uptaking the insulin. And
Okay.
so they're two very different worlds. So you want to find that out. If it's the former, that indicates pharmaceuticals way more than the latter, because exercise makes your cells much more receptive. And so right there, like this is just something I've learned from my doctor that I'm just passing on to you. So
from the I can't say the word, you know what I mean, endocrinologist, because I can't see them until like November. They're so backed up.
Yeah, you might want to find somebody else to tell you that. So anyway, you know, this is as far as I'm comfortable going because I'm not
right.
I pulled a card. Actually, I pulled a couple of cards, and then this one I pulled first, right when you started speaking. But I thought I was pulling this for myself. So I was looking at the other cards and like, nothing here makes any kind of sense to me. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's this card. So Two of Earths. This is a lovely card. So this is about balancing things. So you can look at one of the children being the ordinary world, like the world of the senses, the world of the body, and the other child being the magical world of your thinking, your connection, your feeling your connection with spirit, if you have guides, with spirit guides. And so what this talks about is not only the importance, but also your capability of balancing them. And that's what you've been talking about when you were talking about your situation. What I heard you say is that you wanted to balance what you're doing in terms of exercise and in terms of nutrition, and also pharmaceuticals as needed to get the numbers that you need, your A1C, right? To get the numbers you need to be well. And so there's been like talk about meditation, and there might be other things too. I've got some hits. I think the hit I'm mostly getting, what I ought to share with you, is that it's very easy to recognize the reality that we live in, where we touch things, and it's the seen world. That's very easy to like, yeah, that's real. I can see it, I can smell it, I can taste it, I can feel it, I can interact, it talks back to me. And then it's kind of hard with the unseen world. It's kind of hard to keep remembering that that's there too, that's true too. So I think some of the work and maybe meditation will help you, but I feel there are other things as well. I'm not clear on what they are. It's not saying, so I think this is a journey for you to be on, to give more credence to the greater journey you're on. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, great.
There's some other stuff that's going on that I'm trying to keep a balance and also focus on myself with the other little distraction I have going on right now.
Yeah,
and I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, talking about.
Like to just really see your life as a spirit journey as well, and to remind, like when the hermit came up, to remind yourself that you're the hero of this adventure in time and space. You're the divine, or however you see it, maybe the divine or spirit manifesting in a body. So like living an epic story, because it's very easy for the story to get very small, that is about your body's health, and then all the worries that come with that, and to just expand the story, because you are more than your body, but your body is also your temple. And that's where this card is about, balancing the two children. It's about balancing that.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that insight there.
Thanks, Henry. All right, Wyatt.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
So there's a few layers to what I'm about to say, so I'm going to try and put it the best way I can. So I had pulled a few things, and continuing with the entire pulling the threads of our reality and the tapestry of life, and that's kind of seems to be the terminology I go with anyway. I pulled a rune. Alkes is, well, your rune that I pulled, and then also wind and the direction that's coming from. So I work very intimately with the wind as well. And first, Alkes is about protection, but it's also about how you're protecting yourself and how energy flows within yourself. As you can kind of see, Alkes kind of looks like a man standing up with his arms, which to me is a very sun-centered sign. It's like bringing in energy. And then with this next layer, the wind is Strybolg, which you're reading. Yeah, Strybolg is coming in from the west. And Strybolg is the Slavic wind of dispersal, to help discover nature's gifts and the gifts within yourself. From the west is the physical body. The physical body, the west wind, deals with harvest, endings, things found within the physical body. Everything about your energy flow deals with the, you kind of store it in your physical body. So I'm a shaman. I don't at all claim to be a doctor by any means, so I'm not going to go there.
Right.
But the energy flow that is within your body can greatly affect what you're experiencing, including the ailments or the health that you are kind of, I'm going to say this very delicately, that you are creating, that you're experiencing.
Okay.
So Strybolg is coming in this very kind of interesting way to help you disperse this energy that you're holding within your body. So with Alkes coming in, about the energy flow coming in, Strybolg is also coming in to teach you to let go. Okay. To have a complete flow, not just a storing. So let the flow come in and out. You're not going to get more if you're staunching something, and you're not going to really feel filled up if you're not allowing it to fill you. So it's like, it's this very weird background experience that you're kind of having on top of what you're feeling with your ailments.
Right. There's some other stuff going on, and I think that plays into what you're saying. So. Right.
And I'm pretty sure everyone said essentially the same thing that I'm saying. I'm just putting in a slight. Right. The intention that I did put in when pulling this is which thread needs to be pulled. So then here's the next layer. Which thread needs to be pulled for you to create the reality that you're wanting to create? So this is the thread that needs to be pulled. It's about the energy. It's about how you flow with things. Are you standing strong like a rock against a wind, or are you flowing like water? Are you going to really keep things all stopped up, or are you going to let it go? You know?
Right.
There's this kind of aspect to how we are weaving ourselves into the tapestry. And this is kind of the thread that needs to be pulled, whether it needs to be pulled out and rewoven or kind of pulled taut so it's smooth with rest.
Right. I know exactly what you're saying.
So it's all up to you.
It's a work in progress right now. I'm working on it. And meditation. Thank you for that.
All right, great. Practitioners, anything, let's see. And there's some links that people put in the chat about, okay, I'm losing my brain at the moment, but doing muscle testing. And then
okay.
Anyone to say, just to have it on the video too, about muscle testing? Eva might have wanted to.
I didn't know anything about that, but it's good to know, get more information.
Yeah, there were a couple of my own clients who wanted to know how to do it for themselves, because normally I do it over the phone and I'm on the phone on their calls. So they wanted to know, how can I do this for myself? So I put in the chat, you'll see it. You may like the video, it says for me, and then it talks about several different ways, including the using your body as the pendulum.
Oh,
Using-
okay, yeah. Yeah, I didn't
using
even
your
know
hand.
about that.
Yeah,
Right.
there's so many different ways, and so I kind of touch on all of them, and then how to use them. It's really the same information, just coming in different ways.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, thank you for that.
Right. And I was saying I do a whole body muscle test of just choices, all kinds of things.
Okay.
So you can put just any option like on the floor in front of you in one place, and then how do I say, just think of like two options. So it's a science and an art. There's a lot of art in it. There's an art of saying what the options are, and then there's definitely more of like sciencey, but a lot of art in sensing your body. So it might be like, I
Okay.
eat this thing, and step into that spot and notice how your body feels, and step
Okay.
back and say like, I don't eat this thing, right? Or it might be, I eat half this thing, right? You know,
Oh,
it's
okay. I see what
playing
you're
with,
saying.
yeah. And so you can start off with things that you, something that you love, and notice what your body is like, and start off with something you know you don't like cleaning the bathroom, you know, and what does your body tell you? So that you get a sense of like the yes, no answers from your body
Okay.
with any
That's
question.
interesting.
And then,
Okay,
you know,
that's great.
right, you can do like, I'm meditating enough, you know, like I'm not meditating enough. Like just notice what your body
Right.
you. I say this
Yeah.
is really personal for me too, because I have related things in swirling in my space that I've not fully faced. So I appreciate your question and your exploration.
Yeah, thank you for all the insight. I really appreciate it because everybody gave some more information that I didn't know. And the pendulum thing, I didn't even know about that. So that was kind of really interesting.
And
So thank you.
I know some of the things I've read and seen are that some of the medications really like exacerbate the cycle and don't actually heal what's underlying. And that's
Right.
part of why if one uses them, it's so important to do the other things that actually have your body get more healthy.
Yeah, and you know what I also found with the medication was my numbers might have been a little bit higher, and I know too like what to watch to eat in the evening and stuff like that. Well, like if my number in the morning may be higher, so watching what the medicine has done and watch what I'm due, it might be a little higher, but I'm still within the range that like the little thing tells you whatever when you're checking your blood or whatever, but I feel better than being like on this medication that they had given me because it just had so many side effects. I didn't even feel good. So
Yeah.
that's
And
why I decided I'm gonna try this, and um then if I have to, you know, try a different prescription because I haven't gone to a different type yet. So
and I say in partners, probably partners that you can do things with are helpful. Right? Like going
right,
for a walk and all kinds of things.
right, exactly.
And listen, Audrey, you had something you wanted to share? Is that right? And then Susan?
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, let me just add a little bit. I'll make it short and sweet. I do astrology, so as soon as you ask a question, the whole chart, the mutable part, which means the intellect part, just lit up. Intellect means the inner knowing or the outer getting information, or from near or from afar, everywhere. It is emphasized about this whole process that you're going through of being diagnosed and having to explore what to get for yourself, how to help yourself. So
Right.
I think just like a lot of people said, this is a process. Maybe this is not just about, oh, today I found out something real magical. Actually, it's really a whole process of several months or a few years,
Right.
trying to find the best way to help yourself. And then
Right.
also I see that astrologically there is something in the back of your mind that says, I just want to escape or want to run away. So, I feel that there's probably a little bit of an impatience, like, oh, if this doesn't work, I'm going to try this other one, this other thing, or, keep trying, to the next, moving on to the next step. So maybe that is something that is not so constructive. Maybe you can stick with one program and just go with it for a little while longer and see if
Right.
that helps you. And then, move on to something else. Okay.
Okay.
Now, there's another thing that I see for you that's very helpful is by having support. other people who can help you or who are in the same process, like me, for example. I'm also diabetic, type 2. So you can already see that a lot of people speaking here, they have their own personal experience, which is very helpful for you, because we're not just
Right.
talking with our lips. So
Right.
yeah, all of that, that is helpful for you in the long term. So
Right.
that's
Yeah,
basically
the more
this.
information, I got a lot of information in the beginning. Like I knew a lot right away because I had a lot of helpful people that had that condition. So they gave me a lot of, like, within a couple of weeks, I knew more than I didn't think I would know, and I did know a lot. And you guys giving me information too, it's
Yes,
more helpful to me. Yeah. Thank you
excellent.
for that.
Mhm.
Susan.
Where's the unmute button? There it is. Sorry. Hi, Kimberly. I know you've
Hi.
gotten a ton of information, and I was actually kind of a little like, oh, should I not? She's probably like
No,
way
that's
up to
okay. The more
here.
information, the better. It'll stay up there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I don't work so much with tarot cards. I do a little bit, but I mostly work with oracle cards, and I have a deck called Manifesting Miracles, and the card that came for you from that deck is I am brave. I will not settle for good enough or the comforts of mediocrity. And I think that so pinpoints on, on this journey for you that you are brave. You're not just taking the expertise and the answers of these people with the fancy degrees and the white coats. You're
Right.
saying, I'm going to speak up for myself, and this isn't working for me. I'm not just going to settle for this helping this problem, but then creating this other problem. So
Right.
if you can, just stay true to that. I am brave. I will not settle for good enough or the comforts of mediocrity. And I think that can parallel into maybe some of the other things that are going on in your life too.
Right.
That you don't have to settle for something just because it's comfortable, comfortably
Right.
uncomfortable, right?
Right.
um,
No,
or
I know
because it's
exactly what you're saying when you're saying that.
yeah, or because it's known, right? Sometimes it's
Right.
easier to stay with what's known and that comfortably uncomfortable than to,
Right.
be brave and step outside of that comfort zone. And then kind of a little bit to what Ari was saying about being hard on yourself. A couple cards that came out from the Soulful Truth deck is, from whom can I release judgment right now? And who am I placing blame on? And sometimes we get caught up into this, and then also reframing that this is all happening for you, not to you. And
Right.
it's easy to get caught up in, the blame and shame game of, for yourself, for other people, again, with regard to this health issue, as well as maybe some other things that are going on in your life.
Right.
And
Exactly.
a mantra that was on one of these cards is, when I lift the judgment from myself and others, I uncover my own truth. I am loved, I am whole, I am limitless, and so are they. We are all in this planet, we are all interconnected beings. And if you can stay in that place of your heart, finding that sacred space within yourself, when all the noise and the chaos and everybody is an expert on, oh, you should try this or you should try that, or have
Right.
you done this, have you done that? And it all comes from a good place. Everybody, is wanting to help. But just, take what resonates and leave the
Right.
rest, and trust
Right.
your own inner intuition and inner guidance. Like others have
That's
said, you are your own best, you're your own best
right.
compass, right? Nobody has the
Right. I
compass
just
of
felt
Kimberly but
like
you.
right. I like what you're saying. I just feel like I really had to tune in to my intuition. Like sometimes I know you don't always listen to it. This was really strong. And I just said, like, look, I did it uh several weeks before I actually got put on the medicine. So I was like, and then after the side effects happened, I was like, no, this is not working for me. So it was about feeling what my body was going through, and again, intuition about my body and stuff. So yeah, I kind of get that
Yeah.
because I had
And
a
just
really just feeling about it. So
asking yourself, connecting to yourself, part of that self-care is
mhm,
honoring how you feel and just asking, how do
right,
I feel, without trying to judge it or explain it or shame it
Right.
or blame it, but just holding that space for whatever it is I feel. And maybe it's blank,
Right.
maybe you feel blank
Right,
at the
yeah.
moment, and that's okay too. But just,
Right.
part of that self-care is tuning into yourself, holding space
Right.
for yourself. And then from there, moving into, maybe it's some exercise, maybe it's guided meditation, maybe it's, whatever it might be, but just allowing yourself that time and space to create that sacred space to connect to yourself so that you can tune into that intuition. And
Right.
when somebody says,
Right.
how do you feel? Sometimes it's like, I don't know. I've been so busy with other people, and other people's feelings. And right, because you were saying
Right.
people come to you for things.
It's like
Then,
they're drawn. They're drawn. And it's been like that. But I never really paid attention. Like this last year, I've been on this big, or I would say within the last year, big spiritual journey and a transformation, especially this last, I would say 6 months, 7 months, maybe. So I never really, I mean, I paid attention, but now I'm really more in tune to it. So yeah. And I know I have to set boundaries, and there's got to be, like they were saying, keep, keep, who is the one with the blue light and then the candle, and keep that, all that energy not coming, like me absorbing that. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah. And
I
is
am
this
really
mine?
realizing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And acknowledging, is this mine? It's one thing to care,
Right.
but it's another thing to carry. So am I
Right.
caring or am I carrying?
Right.
And then,
I
checking
mean, you
into
can
that
care
too.
with boundaries. I have learned,
For sure. Yeah, part of
exactly.
caring is having those boundaries.
Right.
Because you can't be there for other people if you're depleted yourself. So,
Right.
yeah.
And that's why I'm on this path now, because it was exactly like that. So
Well,
definitely
bravo
some
to
straight out
you.
there.
And thank you for being brave and willing to ask your question here and have all of us answer. And I wish you the very
Thank
best
you
with
to
your
the whole
journey.
panel for giving me all your insight and your information, because the more information I have, the more it suits me, beneficial to me. So thank you to everybody.
Oh, you're welcome from all of us. And I'm going to give you a few more questions to take with you, and totally
Okay.
relevant questions for me too. All right. So I'm here with you with these questions. Am I willing to be healthy?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Am I willing to live, say, like 20 years, 20 more years? Right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Am I willing to live 10 more years? Yeah. So playing with whatever number. And then am I willing to be a healthy weight?
Yeah. But I feel like doing it in a healthy way, because the medication was, I thought, was doing it too fast also, besides the side effects. So I'd rather be at a healthy rate, at my body's rate, not a medication's rate. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with that.
Great. Well, thank you so much for a deep, rich question.
Thank you for everything.
You're so welcome. All right.
Okay, take care, everybody.
You too, Kimberly.
Okay.
All right. I don't think we have anyone in line for a question right now. So if you want to ask a question of the panel, whoever you are, you can get right to the front. All right, someone's interested in asking a question. Okay, great. A couple other people have a question. Let's see. So we asked that you pay first. Yeah. So if you're here for the first time, you know how this works. We ask that you pay first. You can pay by PayPal or Venmo, and I can also run things on Square if needed. Excuse me. And then after you've paid, if you could let me know in chat that you've paid, I'll make sure you get right in line quickly. So whoever wants to go is who wants to pay and get in line. We are going to have you right here at the front. Yeah, great. And yeah, so a couple of people. So do you, let's see, I'll just check. Yeah, so Ellen, you asked in you asked in the whole chat. Are you still interested in asking a question? You know, now that you pay to ask a question? You and Tarsha are both waiting probably to get in line and ask. Yeah, if there's anyone else that's asked that I haven't noticed, let me know. I'm checking my Venmo. Oh, and if anyone wants to say anything else about making possibilities into reality, go ahead. This is a great time to share something. If you'd like to do that.
I would like to,
Yeah, go ahead.
because I had written some notes on what I wanted to say, and I when I introduced myself and I said something else. So for me to make possibilities into realities is also about releasing what's blocking you. So if you're full of negative and anger or whatever emotion, and it's releasing on 4 different levels: on the physical level, on the emotional level, on the energetic level, and on the spiritual level, and then being able to fill up with the new possibilities and having that shift so that you can co-create your new possibilities. And if somebody's looking for an easy trick, I call it the law journaling, and this comes from my Journey of the Healer teacher. And you write a question down, and then you write law. And as you are writing that, whatever comes down, it keeps your mind busy. And then whatever comes in intuitively, you just write it down, and it will just go with whatever. Don't question it, just write it down. And if you've written 2 rows of it and you don't have an answer yet, read the question again and continue law, and put the book away. And at the end of the day, look at what happened, especially if your question is, what are my new possibilities for today? That's an amazing question to ask yourself, and see what that is. So I see we have somebody, so I will mute myself.
That's great. Thanks. We just had, I think, 5 people get in line, 4 or 5 people. We've got Tarsha, Ellen, Siri, and then also Jasmine. All right. So Tarsha, you're first. So yeah, practitioners, keep in mind, we got to keep it flowing because we got a bunch of questions now. Tarsha. Tarsha, are you set? We want to know what your question is. You're muted. Let's see.
Okay.
Yay.
I'm unmuted. So I have a question. I've been on the spiritual journey for probably about a year, a little over a year, and I'm just trying to connect to my higher self more. So I'm just trying to figure out what my blockages could be.
Great question. Well, I'll say while people are tuning in, I'll say one small thing. My sense is in your eyes is that you're really playful. You love people and community and stories. Does that resonate with you? So connecting to your higher self, I encourage you to have it be playful, not have it be too serious. And as your higher self, I almost imagine that you're so your higher self is going to be playful, and your higher self is going to be fun, and like there might be like various elements of you that you're discovering in a way. Like it's like, so let it be what you love and how you feel so energized. Let that be the experience of connecting with you more deeply. Yeah. All right, we've got Susie ready.
Yeah, I was mostly ready there. Hey, Tarsha.
Hi.
Early in my journey, I use humor a lot in what I do. And somebody once said, "Oh, that's a defense mechanism," and I don't agree with that. It's a way to make it more accessible to whatever information is coming through. But it's easy to make so light of information that's coming through that you don't pay attention to it. So my question to you would be, do you trust what you hear? Because I feel like you are getting information, but you're like, what? No, nah, that can't, and calling BS on yourself. And I don't think you are BS. I think you've got a lot of deep insight. This affinity for community, to be able to connect with people, is an important skill and an important ability for rebuilding. That's what they want me to tell you. You're part of this rebuilding process as we are coming out, from under the rocks again. And here you are. You're like, no, man, this is great. Look at that sun. Look at this. And you're seeing the good in things. And sometimes that can be in the way because you're thinking, no, there's got to be something deeper than that. Yeah, there is. But to understand the joy, that joy is a deeply held It's a deeply important emotion to feel joy after so much grief, after so much loss. You can feel the joy, and it's not BS that you are feeling it. It is absolutely valid. So accepting that worthiness in you, that what you get is true and what you get is true. And I'm already getting so emotional over this. I'm sorry, but it's important that you realize that the information you get is valid. You're your biggest blockage right there.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So trust what you hear. And because you could be like me at the beginning of my path, I'd be like, okay, you guys, what do you want me to know? And my guides would say something, and I'd look at them and go, really? Are you sure? It's like, of course we're sure. Just listen. So you're not going to drive your guides nuts. You just open up to them and trust what you hear. And it feels to me, what else are they saying? Make notes. Make notes. If you get some information, make a note of it and set it aside. And then you can read it again to see if it resonates with you. That you don't have very far to go to make that next level. You're very close to it. It's opening up, trusting what you hear, and taking joy in life around you. Thanks.
Great, thanks,
All right, thank
Susie.
you.
All right, we've got Audrey and then Henry, Wyatt, and Ari.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Tarsha, I definitely feel that you are very open. You have a very strong connection to your higher self or to any of your spirit guides or your fairy godmother or any of your other spiritual antenna. I do some astrology, and so the chart, today's question chart, also confirms that you have a very large antenna, and I'm being shown this almost like a past life vision of you being almost like a teacher where you talk a lot. You have a very large volume when you speak to various people, so you had a lot of audience, right? So a lot of people like to hear you, especially they like to see what you write down. So not only that you're good at spontaneous talking, but you're also good at recording or writing specific information. And then so you just need to trust yourself and say, yeah, let me rediscover my old skills, or let me not bury that under some curtains somewhere in the back of my mind, because you really do have that skill, and it's just a matter of coming back to speak that language again. So that is what I see for you. And I also want to give another little encouragement. It's telling me that you're very good at the reaching out, reaching far, sort of like similar to the astral travel. So if you allow yourself to, let's say, sit there, meditate, or you don't even have to really go into a meditation. If you just sit there, relax after lunch, after dinner, have some drinks, or just gently close your eyes and let yourself go out there, then you will very easily receive messages or get to that other side of yourself, or however you're happy, or when you want to vent your heavy energy. So whatever you want, whatever you need to do, you can do that very easily without even going deep into a meditative state, because that's where you came from. And then so it comes as a second nature for you.
All right, thank you.
Great. You're welcome.
Thanks, Audrey. All right, we've got Henry, Wyatt, Ari, and Eva. Henry, could you turn on your video and I'll get you up here in the spotlight again? Okay, great.
Here we go. I didn't know how to do it without seeing my square. So Tarsha, I pulled the Two of Air, which is a beautiful card. So this is also swords when it's not elements. Can you see this card quite well?
I can see it.
Okay, great. So that is the advice for you right there. The card itself says it. This is why I love the Guy and Tarot by Joanna Powell Colbert, because she's a neo-pagan, so very connected, panentheism, very connected with the whole world. And she has like some magic in her cards and how she depicts things. So this card also stands for duality. And in this duality, there can be indecision or uncertainty or a difficulty to distinguish, or perhaps not being committed. So the path of connecting with your higher reality is a path of very deep commitment. Like, and I know all about that because I took this path for many years and was not as committed as I am now. And that made a huge difference. It was a lot going in circles, retracing my steps. Like, oh, I've been here before. Why am I here again? Does that sound familiar to you?
Mm-hmm.
That I found was partly because I was not fully committing to it. Because sometimes it's easier to just not pay attention, not pay attention. Sometimes keep paying attention, stuff comes up that maybe we don't want to deal with. Or it might feel hard and we want to be more lighthearted. Like there was a time when I'm like, I'm not ready to step into my power. I still want to party. I like literally said that. and like that's not mutually exclusive. I didn't mean party like doing drugs. I'm German, so party meant like literally party. I want to have fun, and not care, and not be serious about my work, like that. So then the advice of this card is to create a context for the possibility of your powerfully connecting with your higher self or higher reality or the divine or whatever you call that, whatever that is for you. What do you call that? Just higher reality, or what do you call it?
Higher self or oversoul, like my soul.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so your soul is right there. It's going like, hello, time. And then it's a question of listening to that. It's a question of bringing the opposites together, like harmonizing them. So how you bring them to the opposites of like, I want to have fun, I want more depth, but I want to be silly and forget what I'm all about, but I want to really be myself, my step into my oversoul, right? So that's like, they look like they're not working together, like there's a difficulty with alignment. And so the most important thing, that I see from the journey I have taken is to really, really embrace the part that goes, I want to party, or I'm not ready, or this is hard, or I can't seem to get there. Like we want to like go, this is wrong. I should not be thinking this way, right? Like there's like this, what am I missing? And then that creates more of that. So then that's the possibility you're creating, the possibility of something missing, the possibility of not being in your higher soul. And so what you can do is you can begin to commit, you can be very playful about it. You can like wear bunny ears. That's what I did for quite a while, wear bunny ears when I was teaching, because I would get so very, very German and very serious. The bunny ears, and made my students laugh, and it made me laugh. And so you can embrace whatever you feel is missing. And when you can't listen, you can embrace that you can't listen, like love on it, like, come here. Love you, Tarsha, not listening. I love you, perfect as you are, right? Like that. So keep bringing what's missing with you, and just like, yeah, so that's what's present right now. And like, what is it that I want? And then bring them together. Like, that's what's present. I'm not as connected as I want to be. And what do I want to be? I want to be just really, really connected. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
By speaking it, like telling the truth about it, that actually frees you from it.
Okay.
Does that speak to you?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Wyatt, Ari, and Eva.
Sorry, my mouse stopped working. So I pulled your rune. I'm pretty sure most people saw me playing with my cat as I pulled it. There's a message there too. But the rune that you got is Yera. And Yera is the rune of balance. I wasn't going to pull a rune originally, but I was called to. The message that first came through was, when did you stop singing? When did you stop enjoying the universe? I mean singing metaphorically. No. When did you stop dancing? Or, literally, when did you stop singing? It's when did you stop making the noise of joy and really experiencing the universe around you? I think Susie said it a little bit earlier too. But, really enjoying and bringing in and seeing the beauty that is around you as what it is. As we are all beginning our paths, sometimes we are all called in very wonderful and great ways. Some people are put through death, and other people are just like they're born into it. It's a very personal journey no matter what. So, but the thing that is the same is we need to experience, and I hate the word need to, we experience and we touch and feel, and we use our senses to really get a grasp of what our reality is. No matter what is going on, there can still be beauty even in the darkness. So when I pulled Yera, it brought in kind of a new aspect of that, of this balance. When were you bringing in balance? When have you lost that balance? Trying to find the balance within it. Yera's like yin and yang, you find a little bit of the dark within the light and the light within the dark. So bringing this within your world aspect is really going to help you and bring you. And when it comes to blockages come and go. They're always going to be there. We're always going to have trauma. We're always going to have illness. We are human. That is part of it. It is your reaction and your response and what thread you're pulling in the universe that is going to affect your perception of it. So how are you going to move forward, and how are you going to sing, and how are you going to dance within the world around you? So.
Yeah, I get it.
Thanks, Wyatt. All right, our hands may have changed a little bit. Eva.
Oh, no, I think it was me next.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I took down my hand. I was trying to be helpful, and
No,
instead.
it's okay. I'll take it down after you start. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to fly through this pretty fast because your guides, Tarsha, and this, are pretty pokey, right? Like they're like, and you're a no nonsense kind of gal. Am I right on that? So they're pretty funny. And as I was listening to everybody else, and they were like, yep. I pulled 3 cards for you real quick. So you got the King of Swords reversed. And most often when I get reversals, I can feel if they want to swoop. Yours want to swoop. Okay. So the King of Swords is about over control. It's about, I need to have everything put in this box. And yeah, look at that face. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't need to go any further than that. So what they want is you to take that control and flip it over and use that logic to your benefit. So you are getting synchronicities all the time. So use that logic to go, this can't possibly be happening, which you say to yourself all the time. And that's the logic they want you to focus on. Not this, it has to fit in a box that some man made, but the synchronicities cannot be possible if it's not real. Okay. So just every time you start to hear that doubt, go, no, too many crazy things are happening and I'm going to say they're real. Like that's where I'm at now. So let that, instead of controlling the issue by trying to make it human, just allow it to be this weird wobbly world that we're in. So then the next card you got was the Hermit reversed. And what's interesting about this is they don't really want this one to flip so much, because if you flip it, it's all about going in. What I'm getting for you is you need to go out. You need to find other people to talk to about this kind of stuff. Because the more you talk about it, the more they're going to validate what's going on with you. So if you don't have those people, then find them, and they're out there. Just slowly start easing it into conversations, and you will find there are lots of people who want to do that. If not, come see me at awkwardlyzen.com. I got a whole group of people for you. Does that make sense?
It's about trust.
Totally, because you don't want people to think you're a lunatic, right? Like if I say this has happened to me, somebody's going to say you have lost your damn mind. And I will tell you, that's why you ease it in. I think about spirituality like I do religion. I don't want anyone shoving religion down my throat. So I'm not going to shove my spirituality down their throat. But that doesn't mean I can't go, oh, look, if it's an angel number, 1111, and see who goes, wait a minute, she just said that. And then you can start a conversation with them. Or, hey, I went to this metaphysical thing last night. It was kind of cool. And see who starts having that conversation with you. But you have got to share. Your guides know that will help you feel like you're not alone in this. And you are not alone. So you took a huge step coming here and like putting yourself out there to ask this question, which was kind of scary for you. But just know, like, they've got your back, and so do all of us. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of us waiting to be friends with you because your energy is fabulous. So speaking of that, one more card and then I'll be done. This card right here is about impatience. Yeah. You're never impatient, are you? So it wants to flip. I can feel it. It's like turning me on my head. It wants you to focus on gratitude. It wants you to focus on patience. And it wants you to focus on grace for yourself. Okay? Those moments where you're not being very spiritual and you're beating yourself up, because I can feel the meanness you have for yourself. They want you to focus more on those moments that you're doing something really lovely, or those moments you are noticing the synchronicities, because all of that mean talk that you say to yourself, and you're kind of mean, they want you to focus more on that gratitude and being grateful for the journey and where you are right now. And that will help open doors with what everyone else is saying in this room. The more you can be okay with where you are, the easier it is for those doors to open. And believe me, that is not me preaching to you, because that's something I need to hear on a daily basis. Like, just sit and be okay with now. And I think you'll see that things start coming to you clearer. But find that community, find those people to talk to, even if it's just a handful of them. I will send you my email address. You and I can just have a conversation someday if you want, because I know what it's like to feel completely alone on this path. Not anymore.
Oh, thank you.
Great. And that's a great reminder for me to put all the practitioners' info in the chat again, too. All right, Eva, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Tarsha. And I think it's a wonderful question. I love this. And you asked the question, what's blocking me? And as soon as you said that, I got the visual in the theater of my mind of a very diffused third eye. So my job is to get the body out of the way. Let's like get that part, that non-physical part of us, the chakras, to work for us. And I want to give you a couple of body hacks. This is kind of fun for me to be able to do that. And if you have a correlation of an emotion that goes with that, or are you clairvoyant? Are you able to see that yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So when you have that diffusion, it's blown, right? And so we want to be able to take that energy and kind of shrink it back in. And then other times when it's too compressed, you want to be able to widen it. So I'm going to give you 2 ways that each do that. So it's just a physical practice. It works really quickly, 1 minute, either or. Okay. So when it is blown, when it is diffused, it's a panting for 1 minute, just, and it compresses the energy and gets it closer and closer. The other one, to get it when it's already compressed, because you need your third eye to get into the space of what I call, I should have backed up and said that first. This is about getting into what I call sanctuary, meeting your higher self and understanding and knowing and having discernment that is your higher self and not some other, let's call it an element that may not have your highest good in mind. And so we want to be able to do the meditation to get there. That's my belief. You can take it or leave it. But if you're using your third eye to meditate and get into that space with your higher self, and you're finding that you're too compressed, too worried about something, too hard on yourself about something, just had a difficult conversation with somebody and they blew your mind out and you're like, I hate life right now. Like that's the slow breathing. And then act like you're playing an instrument, a flute, right, out. And you do that again for 1 minute. and this will help open up that chakra. So those are just my two tools there. Yeah, just to get the body out of the way. And it's funny that Wyatt said, when did you stop singing? Because we need our breath for singing. And he's right that it's a living thing. Your chakras do change. They can change minute by minute. They can change day by day, week by week. And it's a matter of tuning into them, feeling where they are, and then giving them what they need in the moment. Does that help?
I'll definitely try that. Definitely try that.
Thanks, Eva. Yeah, that totally correlates with what I was sharing too about playfulness and communication, singing, it's vocal expression. Like so much, it's like extra important for people that naturally have that talent. All right.
Yeah, I don't do much because I have 2 jobs, so I'm trying to release one of the jobs, but then it's just hard.
But laughing,
making time is hard.
Doing right now, laughing is good too. Singing and laughing in the middle of all the different things, like however you can. All right, looks like Kirstin is ready.
Yeah. So Eva, you brought me right to the right place where I wanted to go with Tarsha. So Tarsha, I'm going to have you experience something. Okay. So right here's the collarbone. I want you to just tap gently on your collarbone. Oh yeah, the phone. Okay, just tap gently. I want you to breathe in through your nose, down into your lower belly, below the belly button for 3 seconds. Hold the breath, relax the shoulders, the back muscles, and exhale for 4 seconds. Scan your body. Where's the tension? Breathe in again. Hold and relax and exhale. Scan your body. Where's the tension? If it moves, it's an excellent sign. Breathe in. Hold. Relax the muscles in your neck, your shoulders, your back, and then exhale. Did that help?
It actually did. It was in my shoulders and then it kind of just moved.
Yeah. So that was a brief explanation of what I do in Snap, Set, Go.
Okay.
So it's very powerful. It calms when you're tapping here, you're calming the amygdala, the fight or flight. And then every time you want to follow one of these beautiful ladies or gentlemen's advice and your mind is racing, breathe, tap, and then see how much easier it is for you to listen and to hear all the beautiful stuff you're getting. And I do this every day, whenever something comes up.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyone else have something to share with Tarsha?
And I'm just going to say, sorry, Laureli, it's like 10:40 here p.m. So I'm going to say good night to everybody and thank you. This was a really neat experience. Take
Kirstin,
care. Have a great
Thank you. Wait,
evening.
before you go, just could you
Yes.
say your contact info in the video so that people that watch the video afterwards can contact you?
Yes, so you can write to me at efttransformation@gmail.com. You can go to my website at online efttransformation.com, or also being connected straight to Snap, Set, Go by July 20th is snapsetgo.art. So wishing you all an amazing evening.
And people are sharing
Bye,
in the
everyone.
chat about appreciating the exercise you just gave us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Laureli, if you can send that later, that'd be great because I'm on the iPad and I don't have access to it. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right. Anyone else? Any more questions or any more feedback for Tarsha? I meant. Oh, Susan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a quick thing because I know we're short. As soon as Wyatt said, when did you start singing? I pulled this card and it says, sing your song. And it has a journal question on the back here. Why am I here? Am I living according to my true nature? So maybe that's something to, to journal on, every day. Why am I here? Am I living according to my true nature? And then another message was, your desires are fuel. Your desires are the power, are the power that that fuels. So use those desires as fuel, to move forward, to take that action step, which brings me to another card that came up when you said, just when you're ending, is it's hard. What if it was easy? What if it was easy? Let it be easy. And on that, just to summarize the back of this card, it's time to expect ease, call in grace, and receive guidance. You are supported. And also, I choose the perspective of gratitude. My vibration rises to attract more to be grateful for. So, maybe coming into your heart, just at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, it's a great way to set and end your day. I'm so grateful for ... What are you grateful for? Let it be easy. You got this.
It's so crazy because I literally, every time I see the synchronicities, I say, thank you, I'm grateful. I just said, thank you, I'm grateful, I received. And then just today, I was like, okay, so I need to find more things to be grateful for and to have gratitude. And I literally said that earlier in the day. And then, hey, I went to work and it was just gone.
Well, because it's so easy to sink down on what's not going well. What's not, we think it's supposed to look a certain way and it doesn't. And then we're like, oh, and yet there's so many things to be blessed and to be grateful for. And so what if it doesn't look a certain way? It might still be, working out. So having that trust, and I'll let Susie go on because I know she's got something fabulous to say, but thank you.
Okay.
All right, Susie, go ahead.
Thank you, Susan. That was very generous. But everybody's bringing up singing, Tarsha. So what I would like to remind you is that it doesn't have to be opera, maybe just idle humming, And I also feel that that singing, especially when you're doing it from your heart, is a form of light language. And you can sing your gratitude. You can sing your love. You have been laughing your joy at this. Sing your joy. And it doesn't have to be big, and it doesn't have to be this one time. I have a little soundtrack that I have running in the back of my head every time I'm doing something, so you can see me drive, going my dun 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 dun, all that good stuff. Play with it, because that's who you are. You're full. The squares keep shifting, so I lost you. Okay.
Oh, she disappeared.
Oh,
she just got back in. Let's spotlight her again. She's back. She's back. Okay, keep going.
Okay, but Tarsha, have fun with it, because that's what your soul is fun. So hum along. If you want to hum like your directions that you're following, whatever, but bring that music back into your heart, and that's where gratitude lies. So thanks.
All right, thank you. Thank y'all.
Yay. Thank you so much for asking a question, for leaping in and playing with us.
Okay, and I'll definitely connect with a few of y'all.
Sweet.
Yes. Thank y'all.
You're very, very welcome. All right, next we have Ellen. All right, oh, there you are. Let's get you up in here. All right, Ellen, you shared a bit about your question already. It might be helpful to people if you give it, give it voice if you're comfortable with that.
I am currently spread apart, living in 2 different houses. It's a very complicated situation. I've primarily been in one house since March, and before that I had lived for 11 years in one place, and I have OCD and I'm a hoarder, so it was very difficult to move, and it broke me psychologically in terms of like panic attacks and OCD and stuff. And I moved myself and my cats and my trees to one house, and a lot of my furniture and possessions to a different house. And I have to reconcile them. I can't keep having both houses. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but with my mental illness, I'm not capable of I haven't yet been capable of finalizing a decision of what to do. And I need to be able to feel safe and guided that I will make the right decision in terms of whether I should stay at the house that my cats and trees are used to, or go to the other place, which is much smaller, but has a friend living nearby. A friend is the property manager in the other half of the duplex and has, there are pros and cons to both. And the thing is, I don't know how to approach making a decision. I feel like my mental health breakdown took away from me the ability to focus and make a decision. And I don't know, I'm looking for guidance as to whether to stay at the first house, which I call the Persimmon Palace because I planted a persimmon tree there, or the second house, which I call Rootplex because the guy next door's name's Root. So I know it's a ridiculous question, but it's been vexing me. And maybe the fact that I happened upon this event tonight suggests that there's guidance out there for me. I don't know how to make decisions anymore because of my illness, and I need support.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here with us and sharing. When you talk about your illness, you're saying just in terms of like OCD and just overthinking and kind of like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Whenever I think that I'm close to making a decision, I see all the ways something could go wrong, or all the ways. Do you know what catastrophizing is?
Yeah.
And I'm trying very hard to reframe into a positive, like instead of saying this decision is destined to go wrong, being like, this decision is hard because both places have good things in them, and whatever I pick, I'll be okay. That's what I want to believe. That's what I try to tell my illness brain when I have my lucid brain, but I don't always get to stay in my lucid brain.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. I would say in your eyes, one of your natural talents is called scholar. It's about details. And when it gets caught in fear, I can see them from here. It's okay. When scholars get caught in fear, they get caught in the trees and over analyzing all the details. I have
Yep.
scholar too. So yeah, I know it's something that can happen. I had an ex-partner at one point too that believed from trauma and challenges, believed that if they worried about things that they would have a better outcome, and so they thought they really needed to stay and worry all the time. And yeah, it's a big deal and it's hard. Are there things that you do to decrease your anxiety?
Well, I play with my cats and I water my trees.
Do you touch your trees and feel the energy of your trees and feel the energy of your trees going down into the earth?
Sometimes, and I'll go out among them barefoot.
That seems
and
good.
I'll talk to them. Sometimes I'll sing in my head when I'm watering. I try to have that be a sacred grove feeling.
My sense is that you're very energetically sensitive too.
I am, and that's part of the difficulty. Like at the place where I've been established, next door there's an apartment complex that's very noisy and active, and there's not soundproofing the way that there is here at this duplex. Honestly, I feel at a loss and I feel sorrow. And the reason I feel sorrow is that before I broke a few months ago, I was good at making decisions before I broke. I had confidence and I felt more spiritually connected, and I feel like being taken from the sacred space I had kept up for 11 years and the landlord killing all the trees I left behind destroyed a part of my spiritual space. And I feel like I need like a retrieval to get all the pieces of me back. I feel like there's pieces of me in too many places and I have to get them focused spiritually as well as physiologically with belongings. I feel like there's two parallel things happening, that my mental health is affected by my spiritual health, and my spiritual health is spread out. And then there's the mechanical stuff of where to actually live and how to combine stuff. But I feel like I'm not in my body all the time. And not in a good way. I feel like I'm ungrounded rather than deliberately astrally traveling.
So I know, yeah, I'm glad Wyatt's in line. I know Wyatt's coming up next. I want to say too, so I think your talents probably are, they're called scholar, priest, priestess, and artisan. Priest,
Okay,
priestess, when it's second, has a tendency to blame oneself.
I
And
do
when it
that.
gets scared, it blames oneself more. And artisan, when it's third, well, artisan in general is about exploring edges. They're energetically sensitive. They're exploring out to the edges of what exists. And so their energy is very diverse. And so part of this is these are your gifts. And because you're in so much fear, I think, in part, like the challenges of them are showing up right now.
Yes.
That's part of what's happening. Yeah, so embedded in your question had a bit of an either or for me. And whenever we get ourselves caught in an either or, that's a sign that there's there's a challenge in the way that we're not playing with, we're like caught in the seriousness of the two things. So I want to, and I recognize so much of the complexity in this for you. I just encourage you to play a bit with, maybe neither of these are perfect. And so like, what's even better than these two? What might be really easy that's even better than these two? Just an openness and to see what's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's well, it's more I could share. Let's go on. I think Wyatt and then Henry and then Susie. And I'm so happy Wyatt is the next one. Go ahead.
So Ellen, there is a lot of recognition in your story that I can very heavily relate to, because this is a very kind of specific path I feel that you are currently embarking on. Something that you have chosen a very long time ago when you're deciding to reincarnate on this very wonderful planet. And I want to actually start with a wind. So you may have heard me talk earlier. I work winds quite a bit. So I drew a wind from my wind bag, and it's kind of appropriate, is Tawira Matia, who is a Maori goddess, not goddess, god. Tawira Matia is a god. And he's coming in to teach you to roll with this storm.
You know, that's amazing. And my favorite place I've ever been is New Zealand.
There you go. You're connected to the land there. So makes sense that he's coming in too. He's kind of, all right, you've been here. I'm going to come in to kind of help. So Tawira Matia is coming in a Western kind of wind that I am understanding. West being endings, but, and this is very, very specific, there's a cycle to this. So know that you are currently in a state of enfrazzlement, if
yes.
you will.
Thank you.
This is not the end. This is but a new beginning. And that is okay. And it is also okay to mourn, to feel the ending so deeply, so powerfully that it feels like you have broken. Because in this moment, we are able to not only let the light in, but let our light shine. And this is teaching you, you're in such a deep space that this is teaching you who you can become, where you can go. It is okay that you're having troubles deciding, because you don't know what you want. You don't know where to go. You don't know how much you want to experience in life because of what you're experiencing right now.
Yes.
So take each step forward. Do not stop moving. Like a shark. I don't know why shark is coming in today, but it has come.
I had 3 dreams about sharks in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, there you go. So the shark, he cannot stop swimming, otherwise he dies, period.
I think that's what it's supposed to be. I think it's telling me that instead of swirling in space, I need to find forward momentum.
Yes. Tawira Matia is also kind of the same thing. You can find solid ground even in the midst of a storm.
I have to. for my cats and trees.
Yes. And you're finding it. It is just beneath your feet and is to ground into this. The reason also, just real quick, that I can connect so heavily to it is I went through something very similar in feeling, not the exact situation, in feeling that you're going through as well. This is a shamanic death. You're experiencing death. You're experiencing a vast transition, something that is blowing you from your past into something completely new. So take this with each step and know you're moving forward. Even if you sit and wail and scream at the storms that are around you, that is okay. So as you move forward, as you roll with this storm, I also want to let you know that everything adapts. Your cats will be okay if you move. Your trees that have died, it is time for them to move on, and maybe they will come back as a tool or an item that you can use, like a staff.
Okay.
Maybe you can continue and find grounding in your tools and your experiences, your life. There is so much more to it than by experiencing something that has already gone. It is okay to mourn. And it is okay for you to move on. Give yourself that permission.
I have to be okay with myself. I'm my worst impediment.
But you're also the one with the legs. You're also the one who can hoist the sails.
Okay.
There's so much more empowerment to this. We cannot move forward without wind. And with such a great gust of wind that you're experiencing right now, you're able to really propel yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I want to encourage you and anyone else too, when those kinds of sentences arise to say them, it's great to say them in past tense. I used to be my greatest impediment.
I used to be my greatest impediment. I can choose a different way of interacting with my thoughts.
Right, I'm willing to choose. You got it. All right, and I forgot Audrey had something to share too. So let's remember the order in which all of us have. I think that was Audrey, right?
Thank you. Okay.
And then-
Hi. Thank you. So I have this visual of you in my also astrology chart as well, that there is a lot of thinking, overthinking, or just like Laureli said that there's a lot of analyzing, hoping to understand, and also I feel that there was this innate inner trait of you wanting to put a lot of responsibilities on yourself. Now, of course, that is a very good virtue, right? That's a very good quality of somebody. But I also feel that perhaps there was maybe a scar or some hurt from your relationships with other people, or by talking with them. That communication with other people that may have left you feeling somehow wronged, or something that was not quite good enough for the outcome for the future. So therefore, everything adding together has created what it is today. But just like a lot of people have said, or somebody has said, that this is kind of a complicated situation for you. So as we're trying to resolve something, we always try to peel the onion, like one layer at a time.
Yes,
right?
good.
So you don't have to be anxious, like, oh, I must resolve everything all at once. I think that you have people around you who can help you, who can give you some support. And then, of course, you just need to take it easy, take it slow. Now, since you mentioned about your cats, I have a cat. She's the sweetest of my life. And I saw the cats that came into Eva's picture frame. And then, of course, Wyatt was playing with her his dog and cats or whatever else. So I want you to know that there is this animal spirit kind of energy in our room today, in our environment today. And they have a very pure, almost like a assistant or filtering kind of energy around us. So I feel that when you go to your cat, or your land or anything else, or when you see the bird sitting on the tree or something, that is usually an energy that you can land to kind of draw yourself up, like holding on to a rope and then taking off. So yeah, I feel that you do have people around you. You don't really have to move. It is not a live or die kind of a situation. You can take your time and then just find that calm, the inner peace within yourself. And that is good for you. That is what's most important for you right now.
Definitely. I have previously had connections with deer, and there was a deer in my yard today. And I didn't know if that was possibly an indication of welcome, like being accepted into the neighborhood, or I know they can
Okay.
do damage to trees, so that's something else I have to think about, but maybe it was a welcoming.
Sure. Yes, it was. Okay, so what I'm getting from that deer energy is that the deer came and did like a transitional appearance. So number one, he wanted to say, yeah, on the behalf of us, we welcome you. And number two is well, everything moves forward, or we don't have to be grounded. The deer doesn't have to be homed in your yard. So, it's all kind of very casual kind of energy, or that they were saying that even though they want to help you, you can call upon them anytime you like, but they don't have to have that forever permanent attachment with you. And that is kind of the energy that you are learning to live with, which is transitional or moving right along. All of that would be good for your mindset.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. We've got Henry and then Susie.
Hi, Ellen.
Hello,
So,
thank you.
you're welcome. So the card I pulled, I mean, couldn't be any more perfect. The Hanged Man. So meaning you're stuck and trapped, and you can't move forward because you can't control the outcome, because you really want to be in both places.
Yes, that's true.
So you're screwed, right? Because it's not solvable. This is not solvable. And so just to tell you, you said several times that you want guidance. And so I very clearly got the hit that the duplex is the place to be, and that the other place, it's a sacrifice to let that go. So it's just not going to be without cost. And you have the power to be with that. Even though you experience yourself as broken, and you experience yourself as in all the difficulties that you enumerated, you still, even with all of that, have the power to absorb the loss of the old place, of the Persimmon Palace. You have the power to absorb that loss. So that's the hit I'm getting. But there's a couple of other things. I mean, you're like really interesting. So I'm really getting this very, very strong sense of that you've been around many times, that there are many lifetimes. Do you get that too?
I don't doubt it. It would explain some connections I've had with people that have been instantaneous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just people.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've been around for quite a while, and what you're experiencing now is like your soul's decision. Your soul made that decision to go through this experience. Like, for example, for me, I've been manifested mostly as a man, but this time around, I wanted to be manifested in a female body because there were some lessons I wasn't able to learn about what it's like when you're marginalized and disempowered. So sometimes we come to learn something or to experience something for our own personal growth. And I feel like that's what's happening with you. And then, of course, the thing is we forget. We forget that that's like, I had a past life regression. This is where I discovered that. So we forget this is part of the deal. You're supposed to forget so that you can have the experience. So I think it would help you if you were able to remind yourself that your life is much larger than this life right here happening in 2021.
Okay.
Like hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years. I'm not sure. I don't get a hit on that, but it's multiple, many, and perhaps even multiple universes, like even like not even human. Does that strike you?
Yes.
Yeah, because there can be this, I feel like this gives me goosebumps. This can be why this brokenness can be that, like, what is this? What is all this? You know, that you've maybe more recently experienced a very different reality. The sense I have is that you experienced a reality that had less duality. And that was not this sort of the rule on this planet and in this time is that life consumes itself in order to live. So, you know, animals eat animals, we eat animals, and, you know, there's a certain suffering that's involved in that. But there's
Right.
gloriousness because then life becomes so enormously precious. But I think it's very confusing, and I think that some part of your psyche that stays with you through the different lives is a little disoriented. If
I
you
do
would,
feel disoriented. I do feel
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I feel lost and floaty.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that you haven't really, like, you decided to come here, but then you haven't had a chance to really commit, to really go, yeah, I'm in this body with these rules and with that, like, you have to choose to live either in the one place or in the other place. It's like, you're not really, it's like your ownership of that hasn't come around yet.
Right.
Right, you feel that. So that's what I strongly recommend. So what I love about this card is that there's nothing wrong with that, because yeah, you can say that you're stuck, and you can say that you have a dilemma, and you can also say you're gestating.
Okay.
Right, you're growing something. You're definitely growing something. And you can get curious and go, what am I growing? And you can get, like, listen to it, and you can go like,
Oh, I have a couple dozen trees.
yeah, so you too are a tree growing. Do you know? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, I have to have deeply planted roots, and I'm trying to figure out where to put them.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you can't figure it out.
Aha.
The figure is not one of the tools that works here. It's like, yeah, you could make a list of pros and cons for each of those places, but I think that it's not going to satisfy you. You may even have done that already, and it's
I
not
have
going
done
to
that
satisfy
already.
you.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, so it's more like, and this is where we get to the other thing, this is more like about stepping up into acts of creation rather than acts of response.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you? So, like, for example, when you say, and Laureli touched on this, when you say I'm broken, you're reporting on what's occurring for you. Like, you can observe yourself, you can experience the brokenness, and then comes out of your mouth, I'm broken, and this is of a piece, it makes sense. And you can use language in this world here, and you may not have caught on to that, and maybe you already know, but you need a reminder. In this world here, and this earthly on earth, you can use language as a creator tool.
Yes.
So, right, so you know this, and so then that requires some discipline. It requires some willingness comes up quite a bit today, and some perhaps like alertness to noticing what is your speaking, the speaking of describing and reporting on what evidently is occurring, or is the speaking your tool for creation? So how would you speak if you're creating with regard to the situation of where to live?
I would, with respect. I'd focus on respect.
Okay, what would that sound like? Like, give me an example.
I'm sorry, it says my internet connection is unstable. I missed a word. I missed some words.
So speaking in a form of creation, and you mentioned respect, and I'm just inviting you to like literally do it right now. What does it sound like when you're speaking as an act of creation rather than an act of reporting? Yeah.
I choose to approach my current situation as a gateway to a better way of being in the world. And I choose optimism that wherever I pick, I will experience hope.
Yeah.
And my cats and trees will be safe.
Yes, hallelujah. That is it. See, like you have it, you have it, you have it. So just hang on to that. And the wonderful thing is this is recorded. And so when you forget this, when you slip out of this now heightened state of more true to who you are in the fullness of your being across many lifetimes and across many worlds, you can go back and you can watch this and listen to your words. Because that is what
that's very valuable.
Yeah, so that is like, it's all in you already. So yes, I'm not saying don't have the experience of what you're experiencing that's negative or that hurts you, but also allow yourself to be the creator. And there could be so much more, but I need to let other people come in and share their wisdom. Susie.
Thank
So
you.
thank you. Privilege. Yeah, you're very, very special. Just very special.
As are you.
Many,
Thank you.
over many lifetimes. Wow.
All right, Ellen, we've got a bit more from Susie. Go ahead, Susie. Thanks, Henry.
Hi, Ellen. I appreciate how Henry broached the reincarnation topic because that was something I brought up. Are you open to hearing about some past lives I have seen for you?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Henry, too.
Thank you.
Let's see. So one of the talk about tapestries and the fabric of life, like Wyatt has talked about. There's so many threads here. I don't have a big enough notepad, but what I saw was that you've had some past lives in which you were a holder for knowledge that could not or should not have been shared. And so you kept it all in here, and it may be informing this hoarding behavior of yours, is that you have all of this stuff and you can't let it go. And things happened as a result. I'm seeing like a 1300s. You were also with Da Vinci at the time, and he would do some illegal autopsies, and he would cut in, and you couldn't tell anybody because he was learning all of this fascinating stuff, but because it was illegal and considered heresy, something, it was you were, it was just so dreadful. And even just talking about it, I can feel all of this anxiety around these lifetimes. And there have been others kind of like indirectly connected with science experiments and things like this. And so all of these have stepped forward, and they are saying we couldn't talk and we couldn't say things, so we held on to it. And that knowledge, just that experience, that energy has been carried forward to you to you in this incarnation. What we can do here is to call a variety of those personalities up. And if you are willing to, we will talk to them. There is one is German, the other is Italian. You've got some Spaniards in there, and then
And these are past me's or people who were in touch with me in my past lives?
These are past personalities. I call them personalities because they're not you right now. However, their experiences may have an impact on your energy now. So what I would like to do is to gain that wisdom from them, allow you to integrate it so you can release those lifetimes and let them return to the light, because they are very much hovering. They're hovering over my shoulders, looking over my shoulders, saying, but she's got to know this and she's got to know that. What we would like them to understand is that they did their job. They followed the rules according to what they needed to do.
Thank you,
And
each of you.
excellent, perfect. You thank them, and that knowledge has been shared in other ways. They are no longer required to hang on to it.
I appreciate each of you for the experiences that you had.
Ellen, hold on. I think there's. No, go ahead.
No, I'm holding energy. She's doing great.
I appreciate your respecting the boundaries in which you operated. And you are welcome to be around, and you are free not to be if you prefer.
So we encourage them at this time so that they can replenish their energy and heal their own hearts. May we encourage them to continue to the light. They have their mentors with them, those they hold secrets for. They are there to help them, to escort them to the light.
It's beautiful.
And as they do, there will be, I pray you experience that release. And with that release, with that letting go of that energy, fill it in with this love that you have. There was a question in the chat. Thank you, Mike, for explaining about grounding. That came through too, is that when your trees help to ground you, if you, no, I'm going to say when you change location, take a piece of those trees with you. If they are already dead, they are willing to offer a bit of themselves to you so that you can be reminded of the relationship you had for them, of that grounding they hold for you. Whether you craft it into something or find a branch, it's up to you, or whatever is appropriate. And then they're saying like a limb to be a staff would be good to help you walk on your path. These do not have to be giant steps in your growth. You don't have to let go of everything, but a little tiny step will help you move forward. Like that shark. Yeah, you see images of the shark just swimming all over the place and they go. But if you notice, they do a curve to it while they're not covering as much space. They are moving forward. So as you take these small steps, whether it's to take a piece of paper and say, I don't need that anymore, let me recycle it. Or
I've been doing that.
good. So you are making progress. It may not be as big and as fast as what you want to be, but it is progress. And we ask you to be cognizant of that and to recognize you have made progress, and you can feed on that progress and allow that new energy to come in. As you release, fill it in with gratitude or with love, and using language that's phrased in the present. You know, I heard the phrase, I can do this. Phrase it so way, I am doing this. This is my reality. I am making progress. I am, and you fill it in. So, you have the things, you do the things, you see the things, you know the things. Put it in a present tense.
Okay.
Okay. And then releasing the words want, wish, hope, those sort of conditional or not quite complete words.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend Sandy McNaughton uses those words. She says them so fast, but phrasing your intention and your language to be in the present tense, as being active, as You got this. You can do this. I also agree with Henry when they say that this, God, everybody said so many great things, and I'm so pleased to know that you've gotten and you have incorporated and integrated so much of this knowledge with you.
Thank you.
And yes, you're doing brilliantly. And I honor you for that. And I am grateful that you have become so vulnerable for us and opened up to us. Understanding that this energy exchange is going to help everyone involved. That's one point. What you do now is going to have an effect on others.
Yes, it definitely will. That is very
Okay,
true.
good. You were very confident in that statement, and that's the sort of energy to carry you forward. So when you're broken, okay, that you are healed. You are doing what you need to heal and to reclaim yourself. And that is powerful indeed. And I thank you.
Thank you. That felt like a hug. I appreciate that.
Good, good. Blessing. Now I have to put my glasses back.
All right, great, great. Well, let's see, we're getting close to the end. And before we see if anyone has anything left for Ellen, I know we're getting close to the end and some of us have to go. If there are several of us that can stay, and we have one more question I'd love to get to from Jasmine. So let's see, maybe, did anyone have anything else to share with Ellen, or did we complete? Just want to check. All right, Susan, can it be super quick and then some others?
Yeah, it is just really super quick. One thing is, and I don't know your time frame, but I just keep coming to, you don't have to hurry. So yeah, you may need to make a decision, but it doesn't have to be today. So don't feel like you need to rush and act fast. You'll be better off if you just take your time and heed your voice.
Great, Susan. All right. Thank you so much, Ellen, for your question and your vulnerability and your brilliant insight that you brought to your question and to playing with all of us with what we shared.
Thank you all very much.
So welcome. All right. Yeah. So practitioners, anyone that has to go, please reintroduce yourself, your name, your modalities, and your contact info. So anyone that watches the video after this can find you. All right.
Am I the only one that has to go?
It might be you, but we'll see. There might be a couple others.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is Eva Venari, and I am founder of the Elevate Institute. I'm a nutritional counselor, which means I make sense of all of those very annoying chronic symptoms that you think that you wake up with one day and I have to live with this now the rest of my life. So anything that doesn't show up on x-rays, that's my specialty. So we're talking hormone imbalances galore. And so you can reach me at theelevateinstitute.com, and I'm just so pleased to be here. So thank you.
Thanks, Eva, so much. And feel free to stay the last few minutes if you want to stay the last few minutes, however long you can. Any other practitioners? Anyone else need to share if we go to our last question? Go ahead. It's up to all of you. All right, great. All right, Jasmine, you are next. I'm going to pull you up here to the stage. Bye.
Hello.
Hi. What is your question?
Okay. So I don't really have a question per se. I just want to know, I just want to do like a general check-in on my spiritual progress and maybe what the next steps are, any advice, things like that. I feel like I've come a long way since this last year, but I'm always open to help and other modalities and stuff like that.
All right, great. Great. I'm going to get a good look at your eyes. One bit I think I see in your eyes is you likely have the artisan talent. It's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. Does that make sense to you? You're smiling. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So part of what this might mean for your journey is number one, don't expect that it has like such a straightforward linear path. Like chances are yours is going to be wandering in a bunch of different directions, right? Just different places that you go. And I think you are sensitive to energy. And so one way that you, if you're not practicing, if you're opening to be a practitioner, you might work with people in ways that involve energy, or particularly like bringing in, just bringing in awareness that you don't even know that you're going to be bringing in, like to some unusual combination of something. Yeah, you're
So
slow.
I'm actually making some progress on my energy work. I do come from a line of Indigenous healers. So I definitely am trying to make that my focus, but not focusing so hard that it stresses me out or anything. So.
Yeah. And so just for artisan, it's so important that you find things to be pleasurable and interesting. If you're forcing yourself to do something not pleasurable and interesting, it's a sabotage. And it's the gift that has you explore and find the new thing by following that in you. That's how you find the things to bring for others.
Okay, thank you.
Great, you're welcome. All right, we've got Ari, Susie, and Henry in line, and Audrey does too. All right, great.
All right, Jasmine. So first of all, like just take a minute and like revel in the feeling of knowing that you're on the right path, because you know it. But it's always good to have other practitioners be like, yep. And you're about to have a whole line of us here go, yep. I have no doubt on that. So the first card that I pulled for you, again, we have our hermit friend here. I feel like maybe you've been kind of out and about and there's a lot of noise going on around you. It's time to pull back in a little bit. So when you're headed down that path and like you're feeling like I'm not going as fast as I want, with first of all, which you say that to yourself all the time, take a deep breath. Again, honor yourself for where you are, because you have come a long way. Like you can see how you zoomed. And so many of us in this last 2 years have zoomed, right? Because we have a job to do, and you know that, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So like, know that you are part of this path, you're a part of this plan, be happy about that, do all of that, but don't hesitate to say, okay, everybody, I need to go be with myself for a little while and my guides and check in with my intuition and kind of regroup and maybe do some journaling. It doesn't have to be for a long period of time, but I'm almost getting like you need to have a little mini retreat with you. Like
Yes.
a little, yes. So
I
there
definitely
you go.
been
Your
feeling
guides
like
are
that.
saying it too. Your next card is the Knight of Pentacles, which like just pick the fruit. It's all right there. It's like, hey, look at this low-hanging fruit. I'm going to reach up and grab it right now. So you don't have to try so hard because it's right there. Okay.
Cool.
So sit in who you are and what you know about yourself, because you have like a whole freaking team of people. And I think Susie's about to talk to you about that. She full out laughed when you said your background, and you have a like ancestor after ancestor after ancestor who are all right there. And you know that they're like ready. So you don't have to worry about falling. They're not going to let that happen because they don't want that. But what like Laureli said about that joy and that everything is really important. And I think that's coming into this next card, which is the Lovers reversed. So there's some relationship in your life which is not supporting you at the level that you need to be supported.
That's so horrible because it's my marriage and my husband's even a Gemini.
Okay, so let me just tell you this as somebody, we are still recorded. As somebody who has dealt with husband challenges during this process, not because he doesn't support me wholeheartedly, but because we don't necessarily see eye to eye on things.
Exactly.
That's really hard. And so I'm just going to pull some love at you. Your ancestors, your people, your support system that is not of this realm, they are there for you. So instead of sharing some things with your husband,
Yeah,
find
I've
somebody
definitely,
else to share it with. Share
yeah,
it with
I've
your
exiled
guides,
that
ask
option.
them. Yeah, and I believe me, it's hard because you get excited, right? And you're like, I want to tell him everything, yay! And then he goes, and like just pulls that rug out from underneath you, right? Like I feel you on that. So like this room I'm in right now, this is my happy space. And I always was saying to my husband, when I come out of here, I don't need to get hit with reality right away. Like, let me just stay in my happy place, right? So I had a counselor who suggested to me that when I come out of my space, he has to come hug me so that he can soak up my energy.
Beautiful.
He's not allowed to talk. He's not allowed to say anything. I'm not
Don't
allowed
look
to
at
talk. We just hug so he can feel that joy in that. So maybe you can try that. I don't know how open your husband is to that, but the talking, like I see this, you have some maternal side back here who's like, quit talking. So like, Yeah. So go ahead and just take it back a notch. Find some other people to be that support for you because he just doesn't know how right now. But I get the impression that he wants you to succeed. He wants you to be happy. He wants you to do all that. He's
Not on
just,
the same page.
dude. And
And
sometimes,
oh man, he is so supportive. And even though I know it's not his deal, he is
Mhm.
still doesn't say anything about it. And he just wants me to be happy, like you said.
yeah, but it's okay also that you don't feel like he's supporting you in the way that you necessarily need right now. Like that's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, I've come
It's
to
good that
accept that
you
for
honor
sure.
him for supporting you. And it's good because believe me, there's a lot of people out there whose husbands and wives are like, no, you're crazy. So that's amazing.
Mhm.
But find that other support system for you, whether it's in your spiritual realm or here on earth, so that you can pick and choose what you talk to him about. And I think you'll
Yes.
find he's gonna do exactly what my husband did, which is I'm not being included anymore and I don't like that. So what can I do? Let me be
Yes.
a part of this. Let me fix this. So
Cool.
just that's what I'm getting from that for you. And good for you. Like celebrate for reals. Like you're in a really cool spot in your life and you can see your path so clearly, right?
It
Like
is unlike anything I've ever experienced. I've had like a huge spiral leading up to this huge transformation. It's phenomenal, literally.
yeah. You are not alone right now. There are a ton of us in the last couple years. And thank goodness we have all these people who have been doing this for a lot longer who can all help us as we stumble our way down the path. But
Yeah.
yes, there's a whole lot of people right now who are like on this speed track, like go, 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 go. And I'm sure it's really annoying because we're all real excited at the same time. We're like a bunch of chihuahuas out there going, it's exciting, it's really fun, I really like it, right? And
Yes.
but I think we have a job to do. And I think it's to create even more of this support for this world that we have tried to destroy. So, and your ancestors are going to help in such a huge way and you're going to tap into them. And I'm going to stop talking because I know Susie's going to talk about that too.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
We'll have Susie, Audrey, Henry, and Wyatt. Go, Susie.
Thanks, Harry. Because as Jasmine, as soon as you said you were tribal, I had just written down you have grandmothers who are healers, and then Ari confirms that, and they're all like, yes. So they okay, now I'm being a Chihuahua now too. Thanks for the imagery there. I appreciate that. Ari. But there is so much going on for you. I have a similar situation. My husband's very supportive, and he doesn't really, he kind of gets it, but then I've kind of held back on it. So it's okay. It's okay. You have got, and I'm seeing just grandmother upon grandmother upon grandmother all the way back behind you, just going, okay, now you need to listen to us. You know, they're not angry about it, but they are so excited that you have opened up because you have made such tremendous progress here, and they are so excited because now you'll listen. Now you know that we're here, and they're not going to give you guilt about it. Well, that one will, but not all of them will. But so
So I do have a question. I hate to interrupt. How do I find out more about my ancestors? Because I don't know my paternal side at all. That's not where my indigenous lineage is. Is that a whole nother subject?
do you need to know the genealogy?
No.
Because you really don't.
Mm-mm.
You sit and talk to them. The thing with guides and grandmothers in particular, no, the thing with guides is that you ask them to come and help you. So when you have some time that's quiet, you don't have to meditate on it. There's loads of meditations out there to help you meet spirit guides. I have some on my podcast, but it's not imperative. But when you open your attention, when you pay attention to what's going on, when you open your intuition to say, okay, grandmothers, what do you have for me today? And then they will come in and you listen. They're not expecting obeisance, like, oh, you're so wise and wonderful. They're like, we don't have time for that. We have to do these things. We've got things to do. They're not pushing it, but they are definitely saying, you're growing into this. This is time to accept yourself. You have accepted your abilities. That's great. They want to help you hone them. It's kind of like baking bread. You know, you learn it, you find it, and then you start tweaking it. So they're going to help you tweak your skills. You have a lot of skills in there. And sometimes it can feel like, well, the way I am at all these crystal things I do, it's like, oh, look, that's pretty, sparkle. And, you know, and then I have all these rocks coming at me. So, but focusing on what caused you, what caught your attention in the first place. There's an energy to it. So that energy that you feel drawn to, say, for example, a rock, a stone, you know, what is it about there, and tune into. So take a moment to discern. You don't need to discernment's a word I use a lot more with more um, uninitiated folks who are still learning what the craft is. You've got a lot of crafting behind you because you've got the grandmothers. They just want you, okay, okay. They want you to listen. They want you to open. They want to help, but they will not be pushy. But they understand you have a pace at which you need to go in order to integrate the new energies that you are drawing in. You are a transformer of energy. You take it in and you look around you and you see that this needs to change, or that you can have a positive impact over there. And that is part of your job. They keep saying transformer. You're a transformer, which takes one thing and crafts it and refines it like a stone. You're like the tumbler, and you create those landscapes that you can see in the crystals, in the formations of the crystals. That is your job at this point, is to transform. You will make it, you'll take in the energy, transform it so that it suits you, and then it comes out you. You're not
You know,
holding on to anything.
you know what's so funny is I have been informally practicing my energy work, and the way that I cycle the energy is I say I transform this energy to you and through you.
So what happens is you're bringing it through yourself, and your squad is
Mm-hmm.
transforming it, and you send it out. And if you you know, you don't do things without consent. So if you send it out to the earth, it's the earth that is in dire need of this love and healing energy. And whoever is there, whether it's two-leggeds, four-leggeds, the winged, the finned, whoever is there will benefit from it. So as we focus, I'm sure many of us are focusing on the West Coast now with all the spires there. And
I actually live in California.
okay, so this is where your energy is needed at this time, but it's going to teach you how to manipulate the energy in such a way. Manipulate as in hand play. You're going to be sending it, not deceiving it, but you're manipulating energy so that it goes to the highest and best. Divine alignment is my bonus phrase. Whatever can be done in divine alignment for
Okay.
best outcome. You have a lot of tools in your pocket, and you've got grandmothers behind you going, okay, we're on. Let's do this. Invite them in. They will help you. They will not overwhelm you, because this is your spiritual lineage. It doesn't have to be a genealogical one.
Perfect.
They're good. They're fine. They said you said what I needed you to say. So, okay, I'm good. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
You're
Really,
so
thank you
welcome.
so much. My heart feels lighter
Oh,
already.
good. Oh, good. Yay.
Thank you.
Great. So we have Audrey, then Henry, then Wyatt.
Hey, thank you. All right. Okay, so what I feel about your energy, and I'm an astrologer, so I'm also doing a chart. I feel that you have a lot of like a subtle power or quiet strength. It's as if you don't really have to come up to the front to say, hey, look at me, I'm right here. So there is a lot of that power that's a little bit like under the surface. That's what I see about you. And I also think that the other side of you is that you use whatever energy that you have to establish solid relationships with others, whether it's in your marriage or other people, other friends or just casual people.
Yeah, connection is so important for me. Even with like the cashier at the store, I have to feel like I connected.
Okay, I was just gonna say that a lot of this energy about the friendship or the connection comes from a very important, it's like a huge pocket, a huge bag of friendships from the past life. It's as if you ran through so many social circles all in one lifetime, or maybe in two or three, but I would say enough in one lifetime. You just had so many. It's like you had this group, you had that group, you have whatever group. So that was really a huge thing in a particular relevant past life.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. You're fine. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, and then when you asked about your family, the lineage, I did see like a one little glimpse of your relationship with the mom and dad, and of course I'm not deep enough to focus on who and the what, but I could see that you probably were closer to your mother's side than your dad's side. And the three of you eventually came together as a family, so that part was very clear. It's like you're doing it the second time, or that this is again a different kind of a formation. Maybe the role of mother, father, child is different, but it's like a triangle. So you're doing another reunion, so to speak. And the energy is very similar, or the energy that you have really sync with each other. So it is a very endearing kind of a relationship, spiritually speaking. And then just one more thing, that in today's question chart, it shows that you are in this midst of our mundane world, where people are probably going through some ups and downs of financial background, financial, economical, some ups and downs. And that's for a lot of people to learn their lessons about possession, or owning what they have and utilizing what is important. And then, so I feel that you're just kind of like participating in that up and down of the finances. But, of course, to our discussion over here, our beautiful spiritual discussion here, that mundane part is probably minor to the spiritual conversation, but still, I can see some of that, that you're going through, and that is just a phase of the mundane life that you're in. Yeah.
Okay, good, because that drives me crazy. Thank you so much.
All right, we've got Henry and then Wyatt.
Okay, that's all been just really great stuff. Like, I'm loving this evening. Are we all loving this evening?
Absolutely.
Just amazing. So I got a few hits on you, and I've been curiously taking notes because I can't possibly track all that, plus listen to all this inspiring stuff. So the teacher came up. So I think that part of you, like, because you were like saying, I need some advice on my spiritual journey, and I think you're hungry for some more spiritual knowledge that you may not possess yet. And so teaching is a great way of getting knowledge, right? It's like, you're familiar with that, like you learn what you teach.
Yeah, because the student eventually becomes a teacher, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that if you teach, that will help you with, because when you ask yourself, what am I going to teach? That's going to be a very clarifying question. It's going to make you notice what you are really drawn to, rather than what is different possibilities. Then also what showed up was the Hierophant. And so the Hierophant is like a pretty complex and kind of tricky trickster kind of card. So the hit I got from that was that perhaps pay attention to ego. Also because I pulled the Queen of Wands, so there can be some willfulness, some temper. Does that speak to you? Some like
Yes.
hot. Yeah.
Sometimes I have definitely had to learn how to let people think what they want to think, and not make them see the way my thought processes.
Mhm.
So I've definitely let that go. There's more than one way to do something. So
Yeah, so it still showed up. So there might be a little bit more to learn, because the thing is that if you think you know, like we all think we know, but there comes a point when we have to let go of this proprietariness, and we have to let go of believing our path is the path, is the path, but still believe in that path. So it's like, it's a cognitive dissonance that you I wholeheartedly believe what I believe, but I wholeheartedly honor what you believe too. And so I think there's a couple of more levels for you. Otherwise, the Hierophant, I don't think, would have shown up. And like being a student teacher, so like you're not yet a grandmaster, so that not that kind of a teacher, but the kind of teacher where you just learn one class ahead type, like a sub who doesn't actually know the material, but you don't need to know it because it's available. So I think that would be useful to you. And then another thing that that came up is that maybe there is some aspect to you that maybe has like creates some chaos. Is that true? Like,
yeah,
a
I
little
am incredibly ridden with anxiety and depression and just a lot of things like that.
Yeah, so it's like you're also super vivacious and energetic and the other things that you just said. So it's like all in this one body, manifesting in this one body, and that's a lot to handle. And so I feel that there's quite a bit of work of embracing. So, not like fixing or like sorting out what you don't want and then getting rid of it. That doesn't work. It doesn't actually
Okay.
go. Where would it go? It has nowhere. Energy, it's a closed system here on this planet. Nothing escapes, or this universe. Nothing escapes. It's all
Transferred,
still there.
recycled.
But the question is, what is your relationship with it? Are you embracing it? Are you loving it? This is always the hardest part. So I recommend Owning Your Own Shadow by Robert A. Johnson.
Okay, good. Because actually I have not even thought about owning and embracing my shadow. I've just been trying to fix it, like you said.
Yeah, so that's just, it's a thankless job, and it cannot succeed because of the nature of it. It's
Right.
like your shadow is essential. It's essential for you, for all of us. We need our shadow, but it has to be honored and shown where its work lies. Because the shadow always thinks that it should be doing all the work. It's like, so I got that. So Owning Your Own Shadow, Robert A. Johnson, just so we don't mix, so you can look back on this and see that. And then I got another weird hit. I felt reluctant to say anything about it. So if this doesn't work for you, then yeah, and my reluctance is my own ego-based fears. So I want to acknowledge that. So I got eclectic. Look, I can barely say it. I'm so worried about this. Eclectic witch. What do you hear when I say that?
I hear the witch part. I'm not exactly sure on what eclectic means. Could you?
But does the witch part turn you off, or is that something you can connect to? Okay,
No,
great.
absolutely not. I use a little bit of everything.
Great. So that's exactly what an eclectic witch is.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Definition. That's the definition. A eclectic witch is a witch who doesn't subscribe to a particular dogma or a particular teaching, but takes from everywhere until it's the brew. Funny that brew came up. My brain makes these associations. Until the brew is yours. So like that. So because the sense I got was that you wanted some advice on how, like that the sense I get is that you want more spiritual knowledge. And so I think if you educate yourself about what that means, and what that means also is that you'll find out about all the different kind of witches, like kitchen witch, traveling witch, green witch, fairy witch, goth. I'm sorry?
I said I actually have a green witch book that I forgot about until right now.
Well,
thank
well,
you.
well, well. Okay, great. So good. So I think there is because I was like, I want to answer, I want to, there's a need you have, and like, let it come through, let it come through. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to say that. Nobody's been talking about witches. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, okay. So that's really all I have there. That's all, I think all I need to say about it. It's, there's lots of information on the internet. Some of it is duplicate, but you will find some gems. There's one site that, let me look it up here real quick. There's one site that's really good, Witchy Aesthetics, Witchy Aesthetic.com. Jesus, that's like quite the mouthful. Aesthetic.com. So that's like really rich, and it's like kind of like a little bit of a primer. I came across this when I had a client who wanted me to help them develop their witch, their being a witch, and they didn't know what kind of witch they needed to be. And well, because why didn't they know? Because none of the paths, like the Coven path and all that didn't fit for them. Because they were too broad and they were too powerful to subjugate themselves into one way. And so it was very evident. Go ahead.
I said it's my I don't want to call it my craft because I'm not exactly sure yet, but it's very inclusive, and being subjected to just one path is kind of strangling for me.
Yeah, there you go. So definitely look up Eclectic Witch, and even if you don't end up claiming that, I think it's going to be just so rich for you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Henry. All right, Wyatt.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hi, I'm so excited.
Good, as you should be. Just a few things before I hop into mine. I really wanted to say, Henry, absolutely. And I also want to expand a little bit on Mahatma Gandhi once said, if there's 7 billion people in the world, there's going to be 7 billion religions. So everyone is eclectic.
That makes sense.
And then, yeah, don't limit yourself. And also claim your power. You have a craft. You are your craft, with that same line. Just claim it. You good.
Thank you.
And then grandmothers. I can't get grandmothers out of my head. I really can't. I put in a song recommendation in the chat, literally called the Grandmother Song. And Laureli also posted a link to it through YouTube. Okay. It is a very wonderful song. Grandmothers to me also represents plant teachers. So when you come to, if this is kind of a path that you want to do, I did ayahuasca down in Peru, and the 22 master plants very heavily presented themselves as grandmothers to me. So that's kind of what I think when I hear grandmothers. But
I have to say just one thing. So I actually went to a Reiki practitioner, and she's an Ayurvedic specialist also. And she could not stop with the white sage. She was all about it. And she said that peyote is also an option when it comes to doing stuff like that. But I know you probably have to travel out of state for that. But anyways, go on.
I mean, yeah, Lephofora williamsii is a wonderful cactus. Mm-hmm. But there's so many entheogenic plants that are out there that you can really connect to, whether or not it's in your path. So, and that means absolutely nothing to most people because that came across really confusing. So kind of like my people, everyone's laughing. My people kind of worshipped a mushroom.
That's okay.
Fly agric, of the Norse, the very North people. But I went down to Peru for ayahuasca. We're all one human. We're all one being, one consciousness. We can connect to anything, whatever it is. I'm not trying to culturally appropriate by any means. But that being said, here we go. Big Olmai. who is the Samic wind from the Sami peoples of Lapland. And this is actually where I was going to bring in witches, funny enough. In Lapland, there are witches called the wind witches. And what they do is they tie knots. They tie the wind into knots. And way long ago, sailors who traveled to the Lapland areas would buy these knots off of the witches. And when they reached a place of no wind, known as the doldrums within the ocean, they would untie these knots to be able to release the wind so they could move forward. You can, I mean, those are tales from long ago, but also metaphorically, the wind pushes us. All we have to do is set our sails to whichever direction, and it's just course correcting the entire time until we reach that direction. So whatever you want to explore and find your course correcting until you reach this destination. Do not really find a place that is within that is of hatred towards like this course correcting. You cannot be perfect. That is just not a thing. Like the golden ratio is what nature is trying to create, but what nature has created is the phi ratio. We are really only able to get to the perfect ratio through course correcting. So do not really, be angry with yourself for course correcting or finding the way, or, you veer off a little bit and then you're like, oh, look at that. The North Star is over there and I'm facing east,
Yes.
course correct and you're there. Fine. Big Old Mai, from what I'm getting, is coming in through the east. The east is the wind of beginnings. Interestingly enough, when Big Old Mai comes in from the east, especially at a head-on, you need to course correct. You need to find a way, because the very bitter cold winds of where the Lap people are, it's not exactly the greatest thing to be able to, walk head on into a very bitter cold wind. So, kind of copying the reindeer, they would turn so that they're going not against the wind, but kind of with the wind. So the wind's coming this way, adjacent. I don't know. Math is eluding me right now. Okay. But, going this way. The wind's coming in, you go a completely different way.
Kind of like headed off.
Yeah. It's not at your back, it's at your side. And then once it stops, you can continue and you kind of course correct to where you need to go. So Big Old Mai is kind of coming in to help you with that, but also it's the wind of synchronicity, to watch for the signs. Put down your phone so you can watch. To watch for something, you have to be present. And so put down the phone, put down the laptop and the computer and the very, very daily annoyances, really, to be able to watch and see the birds, the grass, the trees. What are they telling you? The whispers that are coming on the fluttering of leaves. What is everything around you telling you? There's so much information that you can glean just from nature. You don't have to read the words of someone else for you to interpret something similar. So just really go forward. Your practice is in nature. Your practice is within you. You don't need to go and search something else, though it helps to have a teacher by all means, but there's always something there within nature if you watch for it and if you listen.
That's funny because if I'm not inside doing my work, I am outside. That is how I reground. That is how I rebalance. I am barefoot all the time. Outside is my area. And the animals, they flock to me. I cannot even tell you. In the last 6 months, we've had a fawn outside the door. We've had a barn owl more than once. Or no, wait, maybe it was a screech owl. Just there was a hummingbird in my house. It's just massive amounts of synchronicities, and then actually even just meaningful like encounters. And then the time, it's so funny you mentioned synchronicity, because at the beginning of this chat, when it wasn't even remotely my turn, I had written down what mine was for the last couple of days, and it was the 333s. So, and my life number is 9, so that makes me very, very happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Just keep your eyes out for the signs because they're everywhere.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mhm.
Mhm. Great, great. Anyone have anything else to share with Jasmine? Great. Well, thank you, Jasmine. So much fun. I'm so glad that we stayed late and got to answer your question.
I
Great
appreciate you
to
guys staying
play
late.
with you. And just, we've got learning circles and training panels and all kinds of things for you to, if you want to jump in and participate with us and share and learn from us more.
Yeah,
Great.
I would love that. I actually took the raffle survey thing, and I did check yes for wanting to be a vendor or a participant.
Great, great, yay.
Just when I'm ready.
Yeah, well, that's why the learning circles, and we have one coming up this Friday. It is what time? 5:30, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. There are 4 practitioners, and we all offer intuitive exercises, and 3 of us that'll be there are right here, right now.
Cool.
Yeah, Henry, Susie, and myself. And then also, and Donna's also going to be there. She works with animals. And then we have training panels where this is a panel where we all are practicing and ready to be on stage together like this. At a training panel, there are a couple of us that support new practitioners or practitioners practicing new modalities, answer questions, and it's half price to ask a question, and you pay a little bit to get support from us in the process. So
Cool.
lots of options.
Very excited. Thank you guys so much.
You're very welcome. All righty. Well, we have had another successful MeWe Awakening panel. Great being together with all of you. So let's go through and we'll share again about who we are, what we do, and how people can reach us. And maybe let me say the upcoming events first. We've got, as I said, this Friday, July 16, we have a MeWe Learning Circle. So there'll be 4 of us offering exercises for people to open and expand their intuition. Then Tuesday, July 20, we have a panel on generational toxicity and trauma. July 22, Thursday, July 22, we have a fair. So that's going to be, we have about 16 practitioners. We'll be sharing a bit about ourselves, answering a few questions from the audience for free, briefly, and then we'll be in breakout rooms offering talks all evening, and some practitioners are available to do sessions in the moment, talk about our work, etc. And then we have a panel on mediumship coming up at the end of the month, and a panel on crystal skulls and channeling at the very, very, very end of the month. And lots more going on at MeWeFairs.com. All right, who wants to jump in and share about themselves? Anyone want to volunteer leap in? Or we'll go in order.
I will. I'll hop in. I'll
Right.
start this off. So hi, everyone. My name is Wyatt Larson. I am a shamanism practitioner with The Wildwood Hollow. You can find me at thewildwoodhollow.com or under the same name, Gmail, thewildwoodhollow@gmail.com. Tonight, I am offering a few coupons, 15% off shamanic healing sessions and 10% off all products and sessions after that. And then those are going to be in the chat, but just to speak those, the 15% off shamanic healing is Sitka Spruce, and then Oregon Myrtle for 10% off all products. Yes, they're all trees are my codes. I love them. Tonight was a very amazing night, and I thank you guys for attending and can't wait for the next one.
Great. Thanks so much, Wyatt. All right. Who else wants to leap in?
I'll go.
Great.
I'm Susie Parker Goins of Blue Lightning Healing and Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I'm a channel, an energy healer, past life explorer, a teacher, helping you all connect with divine in a way that's most accessible to you, providing you tools so that you can do your growth too. You don't have to wait around for one of these things to show up. I'll help you learn to do those things. I also have a special, and it's 20% off my regular fee, and I think the coupon code is MeWe20. I have to go and look at my website to see if that's installed because I'm new to that sort of technology. You can reach me though at Susie, SUSY, at bluelightninghealing.com. I want to thank you all for showing up, and this has been a tremendous panel. I am so excited to have been a part of it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Susie. All right. I think Ari also is ready.
Sure. I'm Ari, and I am the founder of Awkwardly Zen. You can find us at awkwardlyzen.com. It is a free online, mostly, we're starting in-person things now, online community. You can find our events. We have 10 different locations across Meetup. So you can find us all on awkwardlyzen.com. We do a lot of teaching. We bring in a lot of practitioners to teach what they're passionate about and what they love. And then we also have 5 events a week where we just have a conversation about spirituality and ask questions and get ideas and feel supported by people who are all wandering down the path together. And then we do have our online community on awkwardlyzen.com as well. We also have a podcast network there called AZ Media. So we've got all that going on. I do intuitive tarot readings, depending on who you talk to. And you can find me on our partner page on awkwardlyzen.com. I do $40 for an hour, and 100% of those proceeds go back to funding all of these crazy things that we do on Awkwardly Zen. So it's been such a pleasure. I hope I get to see some of you teaching in our world as well. And I love to cross promote with Laureli. She's so lovely to be a part of that with us.
Thanks so much, Ari. So great to collaborate and just share all of what we do. Connect with more people. All right. Audrey, Susan, Henry, who wants to jump in?
Oh, okay. I will. Oh, or okay, please. You go first. Henry?
No, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, so metaphysics is my passion. I love all kinds of talk about metaphysics, learning. I've been at this astrology, numerology, tarot, and destiny cards, all of that for over 30 years. So that means I'm kind of old. Well, nowadays I have my website, audreyleemetaphysics.com, that you can find a lot of information. And then also I have a meetup every Monday. I have a weeknight metaphysical hour, and then also every other Friday we talk about astrology. It's awful fun, great social activities together. Plus you get to learn some tidbits about the specific topic. So it's all great. I really enjoy coming to the MeWe and over here sharing with different people, especially the information that's channeled through is so interesting. So I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much for having me.
And Audrey, did you give your contact info?
Yes, my website, audreyleemetaphysics.com. And then my phone number is 818-270-5233. And please go to my website and you will be able to reach me there. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Audrey. All right.
All right. So if you're a seeker and let me speak up. If you're a seeker and you want to connect with your divine purpose or deepen your spirituality, that's what I specialize in and I use the 3 modalities mainly. There's a little bit of Reiki thrown in there too, as needed. I'm also a Reiki master, but it's mainly as a coach, life coach. I'm certified in that, as a spiritual director, and as a tarot reader, using the tarot as a way to get at what's just outside of our circle of awareness, and to get at sort of what Carl Jung talked about with the supraconscious, that place where we're all connected and where we all know. And so I teach from experience. I've done all of this work for just about 2 decades, but I wasn't really sure what's going on and what I want to be doing until I realized that I was afraid to say that I help people connect with the divine or whatever that is for them. Everybody has like oversoul, we have heard, and there's so many different terms, higher self. So it's different for different people. For me, it's the divine, right? And so at some point it finally, the shoe dropped, and I finally, oh, that's it. And I just needed to, it was such a tiny thing, right? It seemed like, what's the difference between what I'm doing now, just helping people with their purpose, and suddenly I'm adding, oh, but I'm also helping them deepen their spirituality. And like Susie said so beautifully, I wrote it down, connect with the divine in a way that's most accessible to you. Susie, that's wonderful. So that tiny little shift made the world of difference. Suddenly I went from, I don't know what my purpose is, or somehow I don't feel like I'm living it, to like, I just like just like clicked in, like it was like this giant settling. And so I speak from experience, and I guide from experience, and I coach from experience. And it was very clear to me that helping you find your purpose, that's my purpose. And it's a world of difference. And I just love helping people. I can be reached at henryindiaholden.com, Henry with a Y. I'm a non-binary person. So yes, I have what is considered a man's name as well as India. So I love that combination. You can email me at henry@henryhello.com. And I'm on Facebook. If you just do Henry India Holden, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Like, you can just find me. And I do YouTube videos. It's just, I'm just all over the place, just throwing out as much content and as much stuff that helps people and makes a difference in people's lives and on their journey as they can. And I also have a special, $30 for 30 minutes, $50 for 50 minutes. That's 33% off my lowest price, because I have kind of like a sliding scale depending on how much people can afford. And I need to find out more about this code. Like, so anyway, I just want to acknowledge that there's 22 participants, and you all, it's like being like listening on the radio to a public radio fundraiser. It's like we're like this that they're talking about, and here's how you can pay us, but we're all still there listening. So that's how it feels to me right now. So thank you all for participating. Thank you for shining your lights. Wow, 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 wow. And especially Valerie, I see your picture. That's like, those eyes are like beams. Wow. And I just happen to be able to see yours, and it's just so beautiful. If you hear that, just thank you for that lovely picture. And that's it for me.
Thanks, Henry. All right, Susan.
I'm Susan Watkins with Inspired Life Essential Wellness, and I help people connect to their heart, their soul, to who they want to be, how they want to show up, and to set aside the blocks, the chaos, the noise, the outside expectations, and to really connect to what they're here to do. And then I utilize oracle cards and Reiki, sound healing, guided meditation, and some gentle yoga movements as well, sometimes to clear those blocks and to kind of calm the busyness that can be in the mind, so you can really center and listen to your heart. So you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook at inspiredlife.wellness. You can also email me at inspiredlife.service@gmail.com. And I have a YouTube channel that has some of my yoga classes and guided meditations on it, but it's like a big long thing. So if you just typed into YouTube, Inspired Life Essential Wellness, I'll pop up. So thank you all so much for sharing your time, your energy with us tonight. This has really been a beautiful evening. So.
Oh, Susan, yay. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I'm able to read your eyes to help you get a better sense energetically connecting with who you are and what you're about and why you're here, and how to make great choices that support you in expressing your gift, choosing who to play with to best express who you are and why you're here. And my sessions are 40% off from being here tonight. Let me know that you were here. And I do offer all the time 20 minutes complimentary mini sessions, so we can talk a bit about why you might want to explore together, and you can get a sense of what it's like to work with me. You can learn more about me at laurelishimayo.com. That's LAURELISHIMAYO.com. And you can learn more about all of the events that we have going on, including the in-person events starting in September at mewefairs.com. That's MEWEFAIRS.com. We look forward to seeing you again at more events, and one of you is going to win that 30-minute session with one of us of your choice if you have filled out that feedback form, which I'm going to put in the chat one more time. So thanks everyone so much for being here together. I will go ahead and turn off the transcript and recording, and then feel free if you'd like to unmute and connect with us all. I'll pull us all off Spotlight also.